Oh my goodness, hello. How is everybody doing? Doesn't Biden look so handsome here? How are y'all doing? Oh my Lord, I hope y'all like my new work from home office. I tried to get everything. You know I love Victorian design, honey, so thank you so much, Luke. How is everybody doing tonight? How are y'all doing? This. Make me a little bit bigger. Can y'all see the chat all right? Got the chat and a painting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, impeccable. I am so excited. So I started a little bit I started a little bit early because I wanted to make sure everything was going to work right. And I figured have a little girl talk while they get themselves together. So, what are y'all doing tonight? Thank you so much, Damon, honey. I appreciate it. Victorian style. I'm so ready for this debate. I've been living all week for this debate. Let's see who all we got here while we wait. Alright, we got Teresa Christian, impeccable. We've got, let me change that song. Do the dance monkey. Do the dance monkey. We got Rashawn, Christian, Holly, Teresa, impeccable. BLT, honey. We got, who else do we got? Let me scroll down. I'm scrolling. We got Brent in the house, honey. We got Orlean. Hello, honey. Who else do we got? Mondo, Rebel Girl. Hello. Luke. Hello, ma'am. Can I get a ma'am? Amen, ma'am. Luke T. Hello, honey. Let's see. Matt. Hello, honey. Poindexter. Hello. Mr. Mushroom. Hello, honey. Beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. Hello, Glinda. Hello, everyone. So we're just waiting for them to start streaming the live feed, and I will pump that in. As of right now, I've got it looping on this lovely debate between Al Gore and who else? Pretty sad. I have no idea who this other gentleman was. Or is. Was. I hope he's still with us. So I hope it's an is. Who is that? I guess, do y'all know who that is? I can't remember. Lord, it's been so long. Y'all, I was polishing my glasses before I started doing this, and I got so into it. I just couldn't help myself. Did y'all like my little standby? I made a new one today. I said, let me go a little bit retro. Please stand by. Dan Quayle, that's right. Thank you so much. Hello, Berg, by the way. Dan Quayle, I don't know, I couldn't remember that. He was good looking too, wasn't he? They were both quite stunning. I mean, you know, if we were like truly going by looks though, I think, you know, I'd let Dan. I'd want Mr. Quayle. Mr. Quayle, come over here and lay a few eggs for me. Misspelled potatoes. Did I? Where did I put potatoes at, honey? Thank you so much, Arlene. Arlene says, smash that like button, all you honeys. Let me stop that music. It was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? But it gets old pretty quick. You know, it just gets old pretty quick. He looks good there, though, but that forehead, I don't know. I guess they didn't have a lot of Botox back then. I don't know. Oh, I spent all day, y'all, working in my garden, and then I went out to some of the tree farms and cut 2 pieces of wood and started carving these frames, and then I had to paint them, and then I put that gold dust stuff on them, and Lord have mercy, it just took just so long. It was just insane. And I was looking on the iTunes, and I see that Dreams is still #1 on the iTunes, y'all. Oh, that's right. He couldn't spell potato. I remember that now. That's right. That was the scandal. That was the scandal back in the day. I remember that now, honey. But, yeah, honey, I'm 68. Linda says, Deb, you must be younger than I thought. Honey, I'm 68 years old. Just got a bad mind. Botox is only used in Iraq back then. Really? Was it? Oh my God, that's insane. Y'all think this is going to be a train wreck? What do y'all think? I'm thinking that, I don't know. I think Pence is going to be very attacking. I know a lot of people think that Caramel, I'm just playing, but that's what they were calling her the other day. But I think she's going to be a lot nicer than we're expecting. I know we all want her to get, because I love her. She was a prosecutor. She can get on them, but I think she's going to pull it back, and I think it's going to be a shocking night that Pence is the one that's like super disrespectful. Now, I'm just guessing because he's got to show strength, because in every debate I've seen, he's always been a gentleman. I'm not gonna lie on the man and say, but for some reason I think Trump is wanting him to attack, since Trump really can't get out there and attack right now. Especially that last debate, it was horrible. But I don't know. Like, I had a fantasy last night. Let me take these off. I had a fantasy last night. Let me put it back on. I can't say. I had a fantasy last night that she was like throwing shots at Pence, and it was like, mother's not holding your hand. Hello, mother. Like, I was just picturing that, where normally they would shake hands, but since they can't do that, I'm guessing they're going to wave like Trump and Biden did. And I was just picturing, I don't know. I just picture my girl telling, Pence, hey, mother. Oh, is it okay for me to speak if mother's not in the room, honey? Oh my God, did he really? So listen, what is going on with Trump, y'all? I mean, real talk, like, okay, you got the virus, just stay. Why can't he just stay? He's got the whole top floor of the White House. Just stay up there. Why does he have to put other people at risk? I just don't understand it. I don't wish him any bad luck at all. Bad luck. I don't wish him any ill will with this virus, like some people, But I just don't understand why he can't just quarantine and stop. Okay, you got wonderful health care, honey. We don't. It's kind of funny. He gets the best health care. And, basically he gets Medicare for all, and we don't. It's just not fair. I don't know, though. It's a possibility that this could turn into a train wreck, too. I mean, they could have the same debate style, since Chris Christie was prepping Trump. Well, since he's been out with the virus, maybe he wasn't able to prep Pence, and then it won't be in attack mode. I don't know. So, I mean, Pence is more of a politician, so it could go well. I don't know. I just don't know. So, I don't know. Exactly, we do. Brian, that's our fantasy, isn't it? That she's just got to get up there and slay. But I don't know, honey. I have a feeling right now, Biden's doing so well in the polls that I feel like if she gets up there and comes off that way, the campaign's gonna freak out, which I don't think it would hurt his chances, but it's just so horrible. It's so sad. She's a woman of color, and she can't be, she can't attack without it getting thrown up in her face. You know what I mean? Like, there's another mad, angry woman, or another mad, angry black woman, and that's what the right loves to do a lot of times. And it's so sad, just like with Hillary. When Hillary would come off, attacking, I'm saying that with air quotes, they would say, an angry woman, why do we want that in the White House? You know what I'm saying? Emotional. But then, like Trump, I mean, think about it. All that train wreck that was last week, or whatever it was. Imagine if that was a woman. Can you imagine if that was a woman? I mean, it would be more in the news than what it was. I mean, they would say, oh my God, she's an emotional mess. There's no way she can run the White House. It's so sad that it's like that. It really is. And then with her being a woman of color, oh my God. And then she's not just, you can't say, well, she's just a black woman. She's Indian too, right? Isn't she? I believe so. So Lord. So, I mean, girl, she's got everything, just everybody coming after her. You know, it's so sad. So, you know, everybody gets judged, and we all prejudge everybody. You know, we can't say we don't. Like, it's just built into everybody's brains where, you know, you judge people on different things. And it's just so sad it's like that, you know. So she's got to worry about not just, you know, that she's a woman, that she's this, that she's this, that she's this. It's so sad. Really is. Oh, I would, listen, BLT, if she comes out and she's slaying him, like we'll say she's slaying, right? And they'll come out and say, angry black woman, you know. It's horrible. It really is. But I hope she slays him. I don't think she's going to, because I feel like they're trying not to get that optic. But, I don't know. Okay, Mondo says Pence is obviously going to try. We all saw how Trump was a train wreck. Kept interrupting Biden. Yeah, becoming a president. Pence will be the same. Kamala won't have it. You know, I hope so. I'm excited, y'all. Oh, my Lord, we got 12 minutes. Oh, my gosh. I wonder what he looked like when he was younger, Dan Quayle. We'll have to see, won't we? Let me see if I can get us a picture of Dan Quayle. Dan Quayle in his early 20s. Let's see, girl. Yeah. It's kind of scary looking now. Oh my God. Like the Crypt Keeper. Young Dan Quayle. Let's see what that pulls up. Oh, he was very good looking. He was a looker, wasn't he? Al Gore was too. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Girls. Let me see. Wasn't so bad looking, was he? He was a good looking gentleman. George Bush was kind of good looking too. Al Gore, though, he's very handsome. Well, in this photo. I don't know about the others. We want to see. How do we make it go? Nope. We don't want to see it. Okay, there we go. It's not so bad. Al Gore looks pretty good, doesn't he? What do y'all think? Berg, oh my God, please tell me you're doing election night live. I mean, I am. I'm sure I will. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. But I don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be called that night because there's just going to be too many ballots. But it's a possibility, you know. There was like over 4 million there was over 4 million you know, early voting so far, so it's pretty crazy. All right, let's see. Let's look at the one with Dan Quayle. Is that him? Oh, I think that was like middle school. You know what though? This picture of Bush, I mean, he's not bad looking, but he looks like the guy in school that would like really pick on you, doesn't he? Look at this one. Well, wait a minute. Well, why does his wiki look so different? Wiki land, I ain't never heard of that before. I'll look at him as the baby. We can go through the photos. Imagine that on you. Yeah. Imagine that on you, girls. Or gentlemen. Imagine that behind you. See right here, he's kind of douchey looking, isn't he? I mean, he's not bad looking. He's not bad looking when he was younger, but he's sort of douchey looking. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. But I'm going to make fun of you after I do it. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, you dropped your ballot off yesterday? Well, that's good, honey. Oh, my God, those girls. Lord help them. I mean, not here. Now, you know what? These were when the girls were innocent. The Bush twins. But, honey, when they got older in that White House, oh, my God, they were drunks. They were just drunks. They said, my daddy's the president. Honey, you're an alcoholic. And your daddy was drunk. But, at least, he'd done a lot of things where I would just shake my head sometimes. But, to be honest, now looking back after Trump, I mean, there's just, and I know a lot of people hate him at wartime, what did they call him? I was going to say a prisoner of war. You know what I'm saying? War crimes. But there's just no comparison. I mean, Trump is just so bad. At least when he signs pieces of paper, they actually have type on them. Trump just signs blank pieces of paper. Hello, Lily. Sorry you can't stay. But I hope you have a wonderful night. Pandemic, influenza. He was prepared. More than you could say most. At least he, people around him. The Trump is just an ass. It's just a. Don't look at him. He's looking at him like, hey, am I going to get some? Am I going to get some? Remember when the gentleman threw the shoe at him and we all thought, oh my God, this is insane. Nobody threw a shoe at Trump, I can tell you. Oh, he looks real good there. Are we ready yet? Oh, I think we're live. Yep, we're live.
Commission and the Commission
Here we
on
go,
Presidential
girls.
Debates. Thank you all, and again, warmest welcome to the University of Utah.
Okay, I can turn them on and off. They changed how they're doing the captions, I noticed. They don't let you pick. Hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, this is Debbie. Don't take it off. Don't you dare take it off. Oh, he's doubled up. Oh, he's got an N95 underneath his mask. I don't blame him, though, honey. After Trump, apparently he hasn't been getting tested. It leaked today. Have y'all seen that? It's insane. Oh my God, they got plexiglass around the camera, people. Y'all see that? Oh my Lord. What is with those other man? That looks like Melissa Rivers, doesn't it? Is that John's daughter? It might be. It looks like her. Nobody knows now, do they? Oh, Brad. Hello, honey. How are you doing tonight?
Please welcome the first print journalist to be the solo moderator of one of the general election debates, Washington Bureau Chief
I guess
of
she's
USA
good if
Today,
she's green.
Susan Page.
Strut, honey. Oh, look at the plexiglass.
Hey, welcome. And congratulations, you have scored the most exclusive tickets in the United States. Hamilton has nothing on the Commission on Presidential Debates when it comes to exclusive tickets.
Wow.
I want to offer a special welcome to Vice President Pence's family, I think is there, and to
Why
Senator
doesn't she have a mask
Kamala Harris's
on?
family
I don't
this side.
understand why
And most
nobody
especially
ever
to my
has a
bosses
mask when they get
who are
up.
seated right up there, and I'm very glad.
Because,
that
I
they
mean,
came.
CNN
Enjoyed
does
this.
it
My
all the
bosses
time
from
when they're
USA
on,
Today
like,
and from
out
Quebec.
and about. They have masks
We're
on.
glad that you're here.
You can hear them perfectly fine.
But this debate is
Oh,
not
I got to
about
share
you,
this stuff out,
and it's not about
girls.
me. It's about the millions of Americans who are going to be
Let me
watching
share
it.
this out, girls.
And that's why I'm going to ask you for your help. I'm going to ask you for your silence. I'm going to ask you during the debate not to cheer or to boo
Get it,
or
honey.
to hiss
Or she'll
to
hit ya.
laugh, because that is distracting for the people
Yes.
that we are really staging this debate to reach. There will be 2 times when you can applaud. That will be when I announce the 2 candidates onto stage. They'll come onto
she
stage
ain't playing, is she?
simultaneously. That'll be a time to applaud. And then applaud again at the very end of the debate. But if you could keep, restrain your enthusiasm between those 2 times, I'd appreciate it. And if you could send me a
Is
little
that
good clap,
Mother or Melissa
that would also be
Rivers?
appreciated, but quietly. I'm going now
I
to
cannot
sit
tell
down
y'all.
and get settled and turn my back to you, but not in a rude way. And I'll see you on the other side. Thanks
The
again.
other side. What are they about to do? What are they about to do, y'all? I hate when they're live and they start whispering. It's so weird. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Whisper, whisper. Whisper, whisper, whisper. All right. Hello, honey. Hello, Blake. What is that sound? Are they coming out of the ground? That was strange. All right. Are they not showing up? Are they not going to show up, girls? Oh, is it 5 minutes still? Let me get my clock up here. Oh, we got 1 minute. 1 minute. We only got 4 minutes to save the world. Oh, it's got a time. Y'all, I'm as blind as a bat tonight. My eyesight has been horrible today. I see at the bottom of the countdown. So they're going to be running a little late, I guess. The Commission on Presidential Debates. Does it really get on it or something? Okay, Rashawn says, Debra, you promised your Paris impression. Or my Paris Hilton impression. That's on. Yeah, that's on. The string keeps cutting it. I don't understand. That's hot. Is that better? Well. We don't hear you. We don't hear you. Oh, she's practicing. She's practicing, y'all. Is the stream loading? Is it messing up, y'all? Is it pausing? Please let me know before this starts going. I got green lights, but I want to make sure. Oh, she's practicing. Good for her. Okay, it's working. The stream's working fine for y'all. Okay, it's buffering for you. Because it's telling me that it's going green, but then it goes red. Alright, hold on. Let me fix it real fast. I'm going to change my server. Alright. Hopefully this will be better. Less buffering. Oh my lord, I need fiber, y'all. And I'm not talking about my diet. Let me scoot my boot. Alright, here we go. Here we go, girls. I hope they have the volume up louder. Don't we? I changed the server. I called Hillary. She wiped it and restarted the server for me. What if this whole time it wasn't really a server? That was actually like a server at a restaurant, and she actually wiped a server, like literally, like a server that had a hamburger. Oh my God! They need to come on and get on the stage. Yes, Barbara. Hillary emailed me about it, honey. What if Hillary comes out? I'm always like, what if she's like the one last thing? She just comes out. Hey, y'all, I'm going to be debating with y'all. Uh-oh. She's so excited.
Good evening. From the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, welcome to the first and only vice presidential debate of 2020, sponsored by the Nonpartisan Commission on Presidential Debates.
Is anything
I'm
nonpartisan
Susan Page
anymore?
of USA Today. It is my honor to moderate this debate, an important part of our democracy. In Kingsbury Hall tonight, we have a small and socially distant audience, and we've taken extra precautions during this pandemic.
Look at the people.
Among other things, everyone in the audience is required to wear a face mask, and the candidates will be seated 12 feet apart. The audience is enthusiastic about their candidates, but they've agreed to express that enthusiasm only twice, at the end of the debate.
Only
and
twice.
Now, when I introduce the
This
candidates.
is so crazy. She does
Please
look like
welcome
Gina Davis.
California Senator Kamala Harris and Vice President Mike Pence.
Oh, look at her. Oh, he looks nice. They both look nice. I'm a savage. Come on, kick it. Kick it, my girl.
Thank you.
Oh, he looks nice. They don't know what to do. Vice President.
Senator Harris and Vice President Pence, thank you for
I've been waiting for this for so long.
We're meeting as
my
President
chair is
Trump and
nicer,
the First
thank you,
Lady
honey.
continue to undergo treatment in Washington after testing positive for COVID-19. We send our thoughts and prayers to them for their rapid and
Thoughts
complete
and
recovery
prayers.
and for the recovery of everyone afflicted by the coronavirus. The two campaigns and the Commission on Presidential Debates have agreed to the ground rules for tonight.
Why didn't they just
I'm
zoom
here
in?
to
There we go.
enforce them
That's a better shot.
on behalf of the millions of Americans who are watching.
And she's going to enforce it.
One note, no one in either campaign or at the commission or anywhere else
Got the
has been
debate
told in
question.
advance what topics I'll raise or what
Well,
questions
not the
I'll
question.
ask.
Yeah, the question.
This
The
90-minute debate will be divided into 9 segments of about 10 minutes each. I'll begin a segment by posing a question.
I don't know why they're
to each of
seated,
you.
Brian.
Sometimes
I'm
the
sure
same
it just
question,
goes back to president.
Sometimes a different question on the same
What is
topic.
that? Did y'all see
You will
his
then
water?
have 2 minutes to
It was like a
answer
beaker.
without interruption by me or the
I
other
see drinking
candidate.
out of like a
Then
a
we'll
beaker.
take 6 minutes or so
Out
to
of a
discuss these.
science lab. Did y'all see
At
that?
that point, although there will
Look,
always be more
hers
to
are
say,
too. Everybody's
we'll move
drinking
on
out of a
to the next
science beaker.
We want a
What
debate
in the
that is
world?
lively, but Americans also deserve a discussion that is civil. These are tumultuous times, but we can and will have a respectful
He
exchange
doesn't like seeing
about
himself.
the big issues.
Why is he
facing
looking
our
at her
nation.
like that? Oh, she's
Let's begin with
she's
the
writing
ongoing
stuff down.
pandemic that has
Y'all, I
cost
think
our
she's about to get
country
savage
so
in
much.
this. I can feel it. I can
Senator
feel
Harris,
it.
the coronavirus is not under control. Over the past week, Johns Hopkins reports that 39 states have had more COVID cases over the past 7 days than in the week before. 9 states have set new records. Even if a vaccine is released soon, the next administration will face hard choices. What would a Biden administration do in January and February that a Trump administration wouldn't do? Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and schools and hotspots? A federal mandate to wear masks? You have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Thank you, Susan. Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country.
Here we go.
And here are the facts.
Oh, he looks
210,000 dead people in our country in just the last several months. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease.
Oh, I can't breathe.
1 in 5 businesses closed.
She's going.
We're looking at frontline workers who have been treated like sacrificial workers.
Why is his eye
We are
red?
looking at over 30 million people who in the last several months had to file for unemployment. And here's the thing. On January 28th,
She's just preaching facts.
the vice president and the president were informed about the nature of this pandemic. They were informed that it's lethal in consequence,
It's true.
that it is airborne, that it will affect young people.
And you know, we're
that
just
it
finding
would
this out
be
about it being
contracted
airborne.
because it is airborne. And they knew what was happening, and they didn't tell you.
What's wrong
Can
with
you
his
imagine
eye?
if you knew on January 28th,
Yeah,
as
why
opposed
is
to
his
March
eye-
13th,
his left
what they knew,
eye?
what you might have done to prepare? They knew, and they covered it up. The president said it was a hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it. The president said, you're on one side of his ledger if you wear a mask, you're on the other side of his ledger if you don't. And in spite of all of that, today they still don't have a plan. They still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does.
Trump,
And our plan is
take some
about
notes,
what we
honey.
need to do
See
around a
how
national
respectful
strategy
Mike Pence is being,
for
honey?
contact tracing, for testing,
Take
for
some notes,
administration of
Trumpy.
the vaccine, and making sure that it will be free for all.
Oh my God, his
That
eye
is the plan that Joe Biden has and that I have,
His
knowing
eye
that we
is
have to get a
done,
hold
y'all.
of what has been going on, and we need to save our country. And Joe Biden is the best leader to do that. And frankly, this administration has forfeited
Thank you, Senator
their right to re-election based on this.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice
Did
President
Mother
Pence,
squirt some
more than
milk in his eye?
210,000 Americans
Why is his
have
eye
died
so
of COVID-19
busted?
since February. The U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population is higher than that of
All
almost
right,
every
eye,
other
but
wealthy
his left
nation
eye,
on
y'all.
Earth.
Look at him.
For instance, our death rate is 2.5 times that of Canada next door. You head the administration's coronavirus task force. Why is the U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population higher than that of almost every other wealthy country? And you have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Susan, thank you. And I want to thank the Commission and the University of Utah for hosting this event. And Senator Harris, it's a privilege to be on the stage. with
Something
you.
ain't right with that eye, y'all.
And our nation has gone through a very challenging
But
time
he's
this
nice.
year.
You know, he's respectful.
But I want the American people to know that from the very
But he's
first
lying.
day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America first.
I don't
Before
trust
there
somebody
were
with
more
an
than
eye.
5 cases in
That's
the United
shady.
States, all people who had returned from China. President Donald Trump did what no other American president had ever done. And that was he suspended all travel from China.
From China, but people come from other countries.
Now, Senator Joe Biden opposed that decision. He said it was xenophobic and hysterical. But I can tell you, having led the
Oh, I
White
like
House
that pearl
coronavirus
necklace
task
she's
force,
got.
that decision alone by President Trump bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since World War II. And I believe it saved hundreds of thousands.
He should
of
have
American
suspended
lives.
all.
Because with that time,
all-
we were able to reinvent
all
testing.
air
More than
travel.
115 million tests have been done today.
What is you just
We were able
blocking
to see
China? What
the
is that going to
delivery
do,
of
honey?
billions
How many
of
people do you
supplies
know
so
that's
our
been to
doctors and
China?
nurses
Anybody in
had
the
the
audience?
resources support they needed. And we began really before the month of February was out to develop a vaccine and to develop medicines. And
Oh, yeah,
therapeutics and
Trump's
saving
making it,
lives all
yeah,
along the
yeah.
way. And under
Companies
President
are
Trump's
making it.
leadership, Operation Warp Speed, we believe, will
Warp
have
speed. This
literally
ain't
tens of millions
Enterprise.
of doses of a vaccine before the
Oh,
end
she
of
can't.
this year.
She knows
The
it's all
reality is,
lies.
when you look at the Biden plan, it reads an awful lot
At least
like
they're
what
being
President Trump and
respectful.
I and our task force have been doing every step of the way. I mean, quite frankly,
I really
when I look
believe
at their
he's
plan
a
that talks
hardcore
about
religious
advancing
man.
testing,
So I don't
creating
understand how he
PPE,
can lie
developing
through
a
his
vaccine,
teeth when he really is religious. It just doesn't make
looks a little
sense
bit like
to me.
plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about.
Her face is
I
speaking
think
more
the
than her
American
mouth
people
could
know
ever.
that this is a president who has put the
Thank you,
health
Vice
of
President.
America first.
Oh,
And the
look at
American
her.
people, I believe with my heart,
Look at her.
can be
Thank you,
proud
Vice
of the
President.
sacrifices
Oh, my
they
God.
have made. It's saved
Thank you,
countless
Vice
American
President Pence.
lives.
Senator Harris, would you like to respond?
Absolutely. Whatever the vice president is claiming the administration has done, clearly it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000
Pop goes
dead
the
bodies in
weasel.
our country, American lives that have been lost, families that are grieving that loss. And you know,
He needs some
the
lipstick or
vice
something.
president is the head of the task force and knew on January 28th how serious this was. And then thanks
What's
to Bob
going on with
Woodward,
his eye?
we learned that they knew about it. And then when that was exposed, the vice president said, when asked, well, why didn't y'all tell anybody? He said, because the president wanted people to
I wonder if he
remain
does have it, because it does mess with your
Well, let's get
blood
to
vessel.
No, but Susan, this is important.
Susan, I
and I
have
want to
to
add,
weigh in.
Mr.
Oh,
Vice
Lord.
President, I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh
speaking.
in.
Yeah, you can have 15 more seconds, and then we'll give the Vice President
Thank
a
you.
chance to
So I
respond.
want to ask the American
Get
people,
him, man.
how calm were you when you
Ah,
were panicked
yes,
about
he's
where
looking
you
at
were gonna get
mother.
next
He's
roll
looking at
for?
mother.
How calm were you when your kids were sent home from school and you didn't know when they could go back?
Thank you,
How calm were
honey.
you
Thank
when
you,
your
Senator
children
Harris.
couldn't see your parents because you were afraid they could kill them?
Let's give Vice President Pence a chance to respond. Vice President Pence, you have 1 minute to
You
respond.
know, there's not a day gone by that I haven't thought of every American family that's lost a loved one.
Oh, yeah. When you're not
And
thinking
I
of
want all of you
mother.
to know that you'll always be in our hearts and in our prayers. But when you say what the American people
Your
have
heart
done
and your
over these
prayers
last
don't
8
pay the
months
bills
hasn't
or bring
worked,
grandma back, honey.
that's a great disservice to the sacrifices the American people have made.
I'm referring
The
to you and
reality, if
president.
I may finish, Senator, the reality is Dr. Fauci said
Her teeth are
everything
so
that he
pretty.
told the president in the
Oh,
Oval
I
Office,
wish
the
I had her
president told the
teeth.
American people. Now, President Trump, I will tell you, has boundless confidence in the American people, and he always spoke with confidence that we'd get through
I'm
this
sorry.
together. But when
I
you
don't know how
say it
anybody
hasn't
can.
worked, when Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx and our
Over
medical experts came to us in the second week of
200,000
March,
people are
they said if the
gone.
president
They'll
didn't
never
take
be
the
back. They'll
unprecedented
never
step
have a
of
chance to
shutting
live
down
their
roughly
lives
half of
again.
the American
It's
economy,
over.
that we
This
could
isn't a
lose
video game.
2.2 million
It's over. They're
Americans.
gone.
Now, that's the reality.
Thank you.
They also
Thank you,
said
Vice
to us if
President
we
Pence.
did everything right, Susan, we could still lose more than 200,000 Americans.
Vice
Now,
President
one
Pence.
life lost is too
Thank you.
many, Susan. But the American people, I believe, deserve credit for the sacrifices
American
that they
people.
have made, putting the health of their family and their neighbors first. our
You're in
doctors, our nurses, our
charge.
first
Thank you, Vice
responders.
President.
You and the
And
orange
I'm going to
man.
speak up on behalf of what the American people have done.
Vice President Pence, you
okay.
were in the front row in a Rose Garden event 11 days ago at what seems to
Put
have
a
been a
mask
super
on,
spreader
honey.
event for senior
Super
administration
spreader.
congressional officials. No social distancing, few masks, and now a cluster of coronavirus cases among those who were there. How can you expect Americans to follow the administration's safety guidelines to protect themselves from COVID when you at the White House have not been doing so?
Exactly.
Well, the American people have demonstrated over the last 8 months
She's talking about you,
that
hon.
when given the facts, they're willing to put the health of their families and their neighbors and people they don't even know first. President Trump and I have great confidence in the American people and their
Thank you,
ability
Holly.
to take that information and put it into practice. In the height of the epidemic, when we were losing
He's not answering the
a
question.
heartbreaking number of 2,500 Americans a day, we surged resources to New Jersey and New York and New
Did
Orleans
you?
and Detroit. We
I
told
thought
the
y'all
American people
were
what
holding
needed to
them
be done. and
ransom.
The American people made the sacrifices.
Didn't they? At
When
one
the outbreak in
time,
the Sun Belt
unless
happened this summer,
the
again,
Democrats were
Americans
nice
stepped
to
forward.
Trump.
But the reality is the work of the President of the United States goes on. A vacancy on the Supreme Court of the United States
What is he
has come
talking
upon us, and the
about?
President introduced Judge Amy Coney
Yes,
Barrett.
thank you. Thank you, Vice
But at
President Pence.
that, if I may say, that Rose
Answer
Garden
the
event,
question.
there's been a great deal of speculation.
Answer
about
the
it.
question.
My wife Karen and I were there, and
He
honored
looks
to be
like
there.
that guy that's
Many of the people
red,
who were at that event,
that's against
Susan,
Captain
actually were
America,
tested
the
for
skull-faced
coronavirus.
guy. But if he was like
And it was
really
an
powdered
outdoor
wine,
event, which all of our scientists
like
regularly
if you stuck a
routinely
nose on a
advise.
powdered
The
donut.
difference here is President Trump and I trust the American people to make choices in the best interest of their health. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, and not just mandates with the
Well, why do we have
coronavirus, but
seatbelts then,
the
honey?
government takeover of health care,
Thank you,
the
Vice
Green New Deal.
He didn't answer
all
the
government
question.
control. We're about freedom and
He's just
respecting the
going
freedom of the
off.
American people.
Let's talk about respecting the American people. You respect the American people when you tell them the truth. You respect the American people when you have the courage
Which we've
to be a
always
leader
done.
speaking of those things that you may not want people to hear, but they need to hear so they can protect themselves. But this administration stood on information that if you had as a parent, if you had as a worker, knowing you didn't have enough money saved up, and now you're standing in a food line because of the ineptitude of an administration that was unwilling to speak the truth to the American people. So let's talk about caring about the American people. The American people have had to sacrifice far too much because of the incompetence of this administration.
Exactly,
It is
Mondo.
asking too much of the people.
Susan, we talked
No,
about
Vice
It is
President
asking too much of the people.
Look-
That they would not be equipped with the information they need to help themselves to protect
Susan,
their
the
parents
President-
and
No,
their
I'm
children.
sorry. Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, I'm sorry.
It's
I
fine,
meant
I'm
to say-
Kamala.
No, you're Senator Harris to me. For life to get back to normal, Dr. Anthony Fauci and other experts say that most of the people who can be vaccinated need to be vaccinated. But half of Americans now say they wouldn't take a vaccine if it was released now. If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it, absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Because you
Vice
can't
President
trust
Pence, there have
him.
been a lot of repercussions.
You can't trust
from
him.
this
It's so sad
pandemic.
that
In
he's
recent days, the
lied
president's
about
diagnosis
everything.
of COVID-19 has underscored the importance of the job that you hold and that you are seeking. That's our second topic tonight. It's the role of the vice president. One of you will make history on January 20th.
Ain't that
and
horrible,
You will be the
Linda?
vice president to the oldest president the United States has ever had. Donald Trump will be 74 years old on Inauguration Day. Joe Biden will be 78 years old. That already has raised concerns among some voters, concerns that have been sharpened by President Trump's hospitalization in recent days. Vice President Pence, have you had a conversation or reached an agreement with President Trump about safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability? And if not, do you think you should? You have 2 minutes without interruption.
Well, Susan, thank you, although I would like to go back.
I think we need to move on
well,
to the
thank
issue
you,
of
but I would like to
Vice
go back.
I know that you're not in.
Because
Get him,
the
Hunt
reality is that
Susan.
we're going to have a vaccine, Senator, in record time, in unheard of time.
You
less
don't even
than a
believe
year.
in science. Sit
We
down.
have 5 companies.
Well, you're already
in
sitting down. Lay down,
phase
honey,
3
and call
clinical
mother over
trials.
there.
And we're right now producing tens of millions of doses. So the fact that you continue to undermine public confidence in a vaccine,
No.
if the vaccine emerges
That's
during
not
the
what
Trump
she said.
administration, I think is unconscionable. And Senator, I just ask you, stop playing politics with people's lives.
Exactly,
The reality
David.
is
It's not about the
that we
age,
will
it's
have a
about the
vaccine,
cabinet
we
members they
believe,
pick.
before the end of this year. And it will have the capacity to save countless American lives. And your continuous undermining of confidence in a vaccine is just, it's just unacceptable. And let me also say, you know, the reality is when you talk about
Exactly,
about failure of
Linda.
this
We don't
administration,
want a record time
we actually
vaccine. We
do
want
know
a
what
safe
failure looks like in a
vaccine.
pandemic.
Arlene,
It
yes,
was
he's being very
2009.
defiant.
The swine flu arrived in the United States. Thankfully,
Oh,
it
my
ended up
God.
not being as lethal as the coronavirus. But before the end of the year, when Joe Biden was vice president of the United States, not 7.5 million people contracted the swine flu. 60 million Americans contracted the swine flu. If the swine flu had been as lethal as the coronavirus,
But we already
in
have the
2009,
same type of
when Joe Biden
immunity,
was vice
isn't it? It's
president, we
almost,
would have lost 2 million
it's a flu
American lives.
virus.
His own chief of staff, Ron Klain, would say last year that it was pure luck that they did, quote, everything possible wrong. And we learned from that.
This man
They
is
left the Strategic
insane.
National Stockpile empty. They left
these are
an
such
empty and hollow
lies.
plan, but we
Thank
still
you, Vice
learned
President
from it.
Pence.
And I
These are
think
nothing
the
but
American
lies.
people, I'm gonna
These
say
are
again,
nothing
can
but
Vice
be
President
lies.
Pence, I'm sorry, your
what
time
we
is
have
up.
done.
Mute him.
Senator, please
Mute
Thank
him.
you, Vice
stop
President.
undermining
Mute him.
confidence
Shut
in the
up,
vaccine.
honey. Shut
Senator
up,
Harris, let me
mother.
ask you the same question that I asked Vice President Pence, which is, have you had a conversation or reached an agreement with Vice President Biden about safeguards or procedures?
What do we need
when it
safeguard
comes to the
procedures?
issue
It's already
of
in the
presidential
Constitution. It
disability?
goes
And
to
if
her.
not,
She's the vice
and if you win the
president.
election
Why are we
next month,
asking this?
do you think you should? You have 2 minutes
What?
and interruption.
That's the reason you have a vice president.
The day I got
This is a
call
stupid
from
question.
Joe Biden, it was actually a Zoom call, asking me to serve with him on this ticket was probably one of the most memorable days of my life. I thought about my mother.
I wish her mother
who
could have seen it.
Came to the United
So
States
sad.
at the age of 19.
I think she died from some type of cancer.
Gave birth to me at the age of 25 at Kaiser Hospital in Oakland, California. And the thought that I'd be sitting here right now,
It's amazing.
would make her proud.
It really is.
She must be looking down on this.
It really is.
Joe and I were raised in a very similar way. We were raised with values that are about hard work, about the value and the dignity of public service, and about the importance of fighting for the dignity of all people. And I think Joe asked me to serve with him because, I have a career that included being elected the first woman district attorney of San Francisco, where I created models of innovation for law enforcement in terms of reform of the criminal justice system. I was elected
You think so, Mondo?
the first woman of color and black woman to be elected Attorney General of the state of California, where I ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department of Justice.
Well, she was willing to answer the
From there, I
question
took
either
on
now, is she?
Everything from transnational criminal organizations to the big banks that were taking advantage of homeowners to for-profit colleges that were
I want
taking
that pearl
advantage of
necklace,
veterans.
y'all.
And then, of course, now I serve in the United States Senate as only the second black woman ever elected to the United States Senate. I serve on the Senate Intelligence Committee, where I've been in regular receipt of classified information about threats to our nation and hotspots around the
look
world.
at her
I've
looking at
traveled
him.
the world. I've met
she's got
with our
receipts.
soldiers in war zones. And I think Joe has asked me to serve with him because he knows that we share.
Barbara, they were asking if
share
there
a
were,
purpose, which is about lifting up the American
have they
people.
talked about
And after
what's
the
in
40
place if
years that we have
something
seen
happens to
Donald
them? What are they
Trump
doing?
unifying our country around
Have
our
they
common
talked about
values
it?
and principles.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Neither President Trump nor Vice President Biden has released a sort of detailed health information that had become the modern norm.
But if
until
something
the
happens to him, it
2016
goes to
election.
her.
And in recent days, President
Same
Trump's
thing with
doctors
Trump.
have
Something
given
happens to him, it goes to
misleading answers
Pence.
or refused to answer basic questions about his health. And my question to each of you in turn is this information voters deserve to know? Vice President Pence, would you like to go first?
Well, Susan, thank you. And let me,
Get you some eye
let me
drops,
say,
honey.
on behalf of the President and the First Lady,
Oh, this is
I
lies.
move we've all
What he's
been
about to say
by
about
the
her.
outpouring of prayers and
What?
concern
I thought he was about to say about
for
her
the
being
President.
the first
And
woman
I do
of
believe it's
color.
emblematic of the prayers and the concern that have ushered forth for every American impacted by the
Look,
coronavirus.
she just can't. She
But the
just
care the
looks right through
President
the
received
BS, y'all.
At Walter Reed Hospital.
That's why I love her. I
White
love
House
her.
doctors was
She's so good at
exceptional.
this.
And the transparency that they practiced all along the way will continue.
Oh, I'm
The
about to
American
fall
people have
out.
a right to know about the health and well-being of their president.
He prayed so
and
hard
will
his eye
continue to
popped
do that.
out.
But I'm just extremely grateful and was more than a little moved by the broad and bipartisan support. And Senator, I want to thank you and Joe Biden for your expressions, genuine concern. And I also want to congratulate you,
I knew he was
as I
going to
did
do
on that
it.
phone call, on the historic nature of your nomination.
Thank you.
I never expected to be on this stage 4 years ago, so I know the feeling. But the reality is we've got an election before the American people in the midst of this challenging year. And the stakes have never been higher, but I think the choice has never been clearer.
I want to give Senator Harris a chance to respond to the same question I asked, which is, do voters have a right to know more detailed health information about presidential candidates and especially about presidents, especially when they're facing some...
No, that we're the ones putting them,
And
in
that's why Joe
power.
Biden has been so incredibly transparent, and
Open,
certainly by
transparent.
contrast, the president has not, both in terms of health records, but also let's
He
look at
thought if he
taxes.
sugared her
We
up,
now know because
she wouldn't
of
be so
great
mean
investigative
to him, I
journalism
guess. I
that
don't
Donald
know.
Trump paid $750 in taxes. When I first heard about it, I literally said, "You mean $750,000?" And it was like, no,
Arlene says he has a
$750.
shifty eye.
We now know
Arlene,
Donald
that
Trump
eye's
owes
popping.
and is in debt for $400 million. And just so everyone is clear, when we say in debt, it means you owe money to somebody. And it'd be really good to know who the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, owes money to, because the American people have a right to know what is influencing the President's decisions. And is he making those decisions on the best interest of the American people, of you, or self-interest?
Hello, Tremaine,
Susan, I'm glad
honey.
you asked about transparency, because it has to be across the board. Joe has been incredibly transparent over many, many years.
Oh, what is going on with that?
One thing we all know about
Something
Joe,
is...
he puts it all out there. He is honest, he is forthright. But Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been about
Mother,
covering up
throw some
everything.
Vaseline or
Senator Harris.
something to
I wanna
put
give
on
you a
for that
chance to
eye.
respond, Vice President.
Well, look, I respect the fact that Joe Biden spent 47
Visine,
years in
Vaseline.
public life. I respect your
Oh, I
public
feel like
service as well.
he's like saying that, but he's
The American
cursing
people
hard.
have a
Like, oh, yeah, I
president
respect you
who's a
so hard.
businessman,
Have someone
who's a job
respect you in the
creator.
back alley.
who's paid tens of millions of dollars in taxes, payroll taxes, property taxes. He's created tens of thousands of American
Paid Ivanka
jobs.
like what,
The
50,000
president
just
said
for a
those
thing?
public reports are not accurate, and the president's also released literally stacks of financial disclosures. The American
Release
people
your
can
taxes,
review
honey.
just as the law
Oh, the
allows. But
lies.
the
The
distinction
lies
here
we
is that,
tell.
Joe Biden, 47
Lord,
years.
if
in
his nose
public
ain't
service
growing, what
compared to
else is
President Donald
growing?
Trump, who
All
brought
these
all of that
lies.
experience 4 years ago
Pinocchio.
Thank you,
and
Vice President.
turned this economy around by cutting taxes, rolling back regulation,
Thank you,
unleashing
Vice
American
President
energy,
Pence.
fighting for free and fair trade, and all of that's
Thank you,
on the
Vice
line
President
if
Pence.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
You know, that's a
in
good
the White
segue into our third
great
topic,
segue.
which is about the economy. This has been another aspect of life for Americans. It's been
That
so
caller, can
affected
she fix her
by this
collar? It's bothering
coronavirus.
me.
We have a
One's
jobs
out, one's
crisis
in.
brewing.
I'm sorry.
On Friday, we learned that the unemployment rate had declined to 7.9% in September, but the job growth had stalled, and that was before the latest round of layoffs and furloughs in the airline industry at Disney and elsewhere. Hundreds of thousands of discouraged workers.
What
have
about
stopped
Chuck E.
looking for work.
Cheese?
Nearly 11 million jobs that existed at the beginning of the year.
I went to Chuck E.
haven't
Cheese
been
the other day with my
replaced.
grandkids.
Those hardest hit
and there were
include
rats
Latinos,
running
blacks,
in.
and women. Senator Harris, the Biden-Harris campaign has proposed new programs to boost the economy.
Oh, yeah, I've
and
seen
you would
that
pay
impeccable.
for that new spending by raising $4 trillion in taxes on wealthy individuals and corporations. Some economists warn that could curb entrepreneurial ventures that fuel growth and create jobs.
Chuck E. Cheese
Would
COVID
raising
ball pen.
taxes put the recovery at risk? And you have 2 minutes to answer uninterrupted.
Thank you.
Now I hear that song in my head, y'all.
On the issue of the
Linda and
economy, I
Teresa.
think there couldn't be a more fundamental difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden believes you measure the health and the strength of America's economy based on the health and the strength of the American worker and the American family. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who measures the strength of the economy based on how rich people are doing,
Stock market.
which is why he passed a tax bill benefiting the top 1% and the biggest corporations
And
of
none
America,
of my
leading
job,
to
when I had a
$2
job,
trillion
they got a
deficit
big
that the
tax
American
break.
people are
Guess how
gonna
much they gave us little people?
On
Nothing.
day one, Joe
Nothing.
Biden will repeal that tax bill. He'll
Not
get
even
rid
a
of it.
napkin.
And what he'll do with the money is invest it in the American people. And through
It's
a plan
time
that
the
is about
American
investing in
people
infrastructure, something
got
that Donald Trump said he
paid.
would do. I remember hearing about some infrastructure week. I don't think it ever happened. But Joe Biden will do that. He'll invest in infrastructure. It's about upgrading our roads and bridges, but also investing in clean energy and renewable energy. Joe is going to invest that money in what we need to do around innovation. There was a time when our country believed in science and invested in research and development so that we were an innovation leader on the globe. Joe Biden will use that money to invest in education. So, for example, for folks who want to go to a 2-year community college, it will be free. If you come from a family that makes less than $125,000, you'll go to a public university for free.
What is
And
going
across
on?
the board, we'll make sure that if you have
his-
student loan debt,
that
it's
eye-
cut by $10,000. That's
I gotta
how Joe
Google
Biden
this,
thinks about the
COVID eye,
economy,
'cause
which
something- that
about
eye is
investing
freaking me
in
out,
the people of
y'all.
our country, as opposed to passing a tax bill, which had the benefit of letting American corporations go offshore to do their business.
Thank you,
You're
Senator
welcome.
Harris. Vice President Pence, your administration has been predicting a
Oh, my
rapid and robust
God.
recovery. But the latest
Pink eye
economic
is the
report suggests
primary
that's
symptom
not happening.
of COVID.
Should Americans be
What?
braced for an economic
looks like
comeback
his
that is
eye when
gonna
I
take not
Googled
months,
COVID
but a
on the
year
Google
or
images.
more? You have 2 minutes to answer.
Oh my
uninterrupted.
God. He
When President
probably
Trump and I
does
took
have
office,
it.
America had
Oh
gone
my
through the
Lord,
slowest
have
economic
mercy.
recovery since the Great Depression. Because when Joe Biden was vice president, they tried to tax,
Yeah, I
and
think
spend,
he's
and
got it.
regulate and bail our way
Or
back
had
through a
it.
growing economy. President Trump cut taxes across the board. Despite what Senator Harris says, the average American family of four had $2,000 in savings in taxes. And with the rise in wages that occurred, most predominantly for blue-collar, hardworking Americans, the average household income for a family of four increased by $4,000 following President Trump's tax cuts. But America, you just heard Senator Harris tell you, on day one, Joe Biden's going to raise your taxes. It's really remarkable to think.
That is not what she's
I
saying.
mean, right after a time where we're going through a pandemic that lost 22 million jobs at the height, we've already added back 11.6 million jobs because we had a president who cut taxes, rolled back regulation, unleashed American energy, fought for free and fair trade, and secured $4 trillion from the Congress of the United States to give direct payments to families, saved 50 million jobs through the Paycheck Protection Program. We literally have spared no expense to help the American people and the American workers.
You're in the government now. What have you done?
Want to raise taxes.
Trump just
They wanna
tweeted last
bury
night
our
he's not even
economy
going to do
into a
another
$2 trillion
stimulus.
Green New Deal, which you were one of the original co-sponsors of in the United States Senate. They want to abolish fossil fuels and ban fracking, which would cost hundreds of thousands of American jobs all across the heartland. And Joe Biden wants to go back to the economic surrender to China, that when we took office, half of our international trade deficit was with China alone.
Arlene says
And
Pence
Joe
is
Biden
over
wants
the
to
talking
repeal
time
all of
limit.
the tariffs that President Trump put into effect to fight for American jobs and American workers. Joe Biden says democracy's on the ballot. Make no mistake about it, Susan. The American economy, the American comeback
Yes, ban
is on
fracking, and
the
then Luke
ballot.
says poor
With
RuPaul.
4 more years of growth
Thank you.
and opportunity,
Thank you,
4
Vice
more years of President Donald Trump. 2021
Thank
is
you,
going to
Vice
be the
President.
biggest economic year in the history of this country.
Yeah,
Thank you, Vice President.
lies.
Senator Harris.
Well, I mean, I thought we saw enough of it in last week's debate, but I think this is supposed to be a debate based on fact and truth. And the truth and the fact is, Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000
He said
a
he's going to
year.
repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Oh, get him.
I'm speaking.
Be important
Get
if you said the truth. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week that he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Oh my
That was
God.
tax
And that was
cuts
for
that
the
gave
rich.
average working
Those are
family
for the rich.
$2,000 in a tax break
What?
every single year.
No, ma'am.
Senator,
That is
that's the math.
absolutely not true. That
Is he
tax
only
bill-
cutting? Is he only going to repeal part of the Trump tax cuts?
If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then
Please.
have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Joe Biden will not raise taxes on anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. He has been very clear.
Oh, she wants to get
Joe
him
Biden
so
will not
bad,
end
but she's
fracking.
holding it together,
He's been
y'all.
very clear about that. Joe Biden
Oh,
is the one who,
And-
during the Great Recession, was responsible
exactly. BLT,
for the
cut his
Recovery Act
microphone.
that brought America back. And now the Trump-Pence administration wants to take credit when they rode the coattails of Joe Biden's success for the economy that they had at the beginning of their term. Of course, now the economy is a complete disaster. But Joe Biden, on the one hand, did that. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who has reigned over a recession that is being compared
There's gonna
to
be
the
so
Great
many
Depression.
memes made out
On
of
the
her
one
as I'm
hand, you have
speaking.
Joe Biden, who was responsible with
Oh.
President Barack Obama for the Affordable Care Act, which brought health care to over 20 million Americans and protected people with
And pre-existing
conditions. And what it
conditions.
also did is it saved those families who otherwise were going bankrupt because of hospital bills they could not
You know, it's so
afford.
sad.
On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who's in court right now,
It's just
trying to get rid
horrible.
of
Thank you, Senator
trying to
Harris.
get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which means that you will lose protections if you have pre-existing conditions. And this is very important, Susan.
Yes,
and it's
but we
important.
need to give Vice President.
I'd
Pence a
just like
chance
to,
to
he
respond.
interrupted me, and I'd like to just finish, please. If you have a pre-existing condition, heart disease, diabetes, breast cancer, they're coming for you. If you love
Preach
someone
it,
who has
honey.
a pre-existing
It's
condition,
Because that's the
Thank you,
damn
they're
Senator
coming
truth.
for you. If you are under the age of
No,
26
it's not
and your
nonsense.
parents
I have a
suffer,
friend that
they're
lost
coming
her
to you.
mother
Senator Harris, thank you.
because she had
Let me
cancer.
give you a chance to respond.
A
Well, I hope we have a
pre-existing
chance to talk about
condition.
health care because Obamacare was a disaster. The American people
I'm
would
getting
know it
angry.
well.
Oh, I'm getting angry.
President Trump and I have a plan to improve health care and to protect pre-existing conditions for every
Get
American.
saved. Hope someone
Look,
saved you in a back
Senator
alley,
Harris,
Pence.
you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. You yourself said on multiple occasions when you were running for president that you would ban fracking. Joe Biden looked at a supporter in the eye and pointed and said, I guarantee that we will abolish fossil fuels. They have a $2 trillion version
Does
of
he
the
think
Green
we're
New
gonna be
Deal,
on
Susan, that
fossil
your
fuels
newspaper, USA
forever?
Today said really wasn't
Y'all,
that
the
very
car's the
different
last
from the
mile. And
original
honey,
Green New Deal.
Tesla, I mean, come on. I
More
know a lot of people that's
taxes,
got electric
more
cars now.
regulation,
From Chevys to
banning
Teslas.
fracking, abolishing fossil fuel, crushing American energy, and
Abolish
economic
that,
surrender
honey.
to China is a prescription for economic decline. President Trump and I will keep
Trump has been
America
saying he had a
growing.
health care
The
plan before he
V-shaped
got in
recovery that's
office.
underway right
The
now
lies we
will
tell,
continue
hon.
with 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the
Thank you very, very much, Vice President.
Get a
Pence. Once
lipstick,
again,
honey.
you provided the perfect segue to a new topic, which is climate change. And Vice President Pence, I'd like to pose the first question to you. This year, we've seen record-setting hurricanes in the South. Another one, Hurricane Delta, is now threatening the Gulf. And we have seen record-setting wildfires in the West. Do you believe, as the scientific community has concluded, that man-made climate change has made wildfires bigger, hotter, and more deadly, and have made hurricanes wetter,
Oh, he's waiting on the
slower,
locust,
and more
isn't he?
damaging? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Thank you, Susan. Well, first, I'm very proud of our record on the environment and
Oh,
on
here we
conservation.
go. What?
According to
Wreck?
all of the best estimates, our air and land are cleaner than any time ever recorded. And our water is among the cleanest in the world. And just a little while ago, the president signed the
Really?
Outdoors
Call
Act.
up
It's
somebody
the
that lives in
largest
Flint,
investment
honey.
in our public lands and public parks in 100 years. So
Oh, my
President
God,
Trump
the
has made a
lies.
commitment to conservation and to the environment. Now, with regard to climate change, the climate is changing. But the issue is, what's the cause and what do we do about it?
Oh, honey,
President
what's
Trump
the
has made it clear
cause?
that we're going
What's
to
the
continue to
cause?
listen to the science.
What's the cause?
Now, Joe Biden
What's the cause,
and
honey?
Kamala Harris would put us back in the Paris Climate Accord. They'd impose the Green New Deal,
Yeah.
which would crush American
The
energy,
Green-
would
yes.
increase the
We're
energy
for
costs
that,
of
honey.
American families.
It's not going
and
to
their
crush
homes,
nobody. It's going to create better
literally would
jobs,
crush
new
American
jobs, new
jobs.
sectors.
And President Trump and I believe
Might
that
even create
the
you some good
progress that we have
foundation lipstick
made
and some
in a
eyebrows.
cleaner environment has been happening precisely because we have a strong free market economy. You know, what's remarkable is the United States has reduced CO2
He's not answering anything.
more than the countries that are still in the Paris Climate
Exactly.
Accord. but
Patricia
we've
says
done it
proud.
through
The ocean
innovation.
is full of plastic.
And we've done it through natural gas and fracking, which, Senator, the American people can go look at the record. I know Joe Biden says otherwise now, as you do, but the both of you repeatedly committed to abolishing fossil fuel and banning fracking. And so by creating the kind of American innovation, we're actually steering
Oh,
toward
she
a
wants to
stronger
say
and better
something so
environment.
bad.
With regard to wildfires, President Trump and I believe that forest management has to be front and
Exactly,
center.
Linda.
Even
He doesn't believe
Governor
in
Gavin
climate
Newsom
change.
from
It's
your
a
state
hoax,
has agreed
according
we've
to
got to
Trump.
work on forest management. And with regard to hurricanes, the National Oceanic Administration tells us that actually
I mean, how many people do you know that are fracking? Like the average person's out there
There
fracking.
were 100 years ago.
Thank you.
But many of the
Real Paul's the only
alarmists
girl I know
use
fracking.
hurricanes and wildfires to try and
Thank
sell
you,
their
Vice
bill of
President
goods of a
Pence.
Green New Deal.
She didn't interrupt
And
you.
President
Shut
Trump
the
and I
hell
are
up,
gonna always
honey.
put
Thank you,
American
Vice
jobs and
President.
Be
American workers
quiet.
first.
I'll mute you.
Senator Harris, as the Vice President mentioned, you co-sponsored the Green New Deal in Congress. But Vice President Biden said in last week's debate that he does not support the Green New Deal. But if you look at the Biden-Harris campaign website, it describes the Green New Deal as a crucial framework. What exactly would be the stance of a Biden-Harris administration toward the Green New Deal? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Sure. So first of all, I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact. That is a fact.
I want fracking
I
banned.
will repeat that Joe Biden has been very clear that he thinks about growing jobs, which is why he will not increase taxes for anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. Joe Biden's economic plan, Moody's, which is a reputable Wall Street firm, has said will create 7 million more jobs than Donald Trump's. And part of those jobs that will be created by Joe Biden are going to be about clean energy and renewable energy. Because you see, Joe understands that the west coast of our country is burning, including my home state of California. Joe sees what is happening on the Gulf states, which are being battered by storms. Joe has seen and talked with the farmers in Iowa, whose entire crops have been destroyed because of floods. And so Joe believes, again, in science. I'll tell you something, Susan. I served, when I first got to the Senate, on the committee that's responsible for the environment. Do you know this administration took the word science off the website and then took the phrase climate change off the website? We have seen a pattern with this administration, which is they don't believe in science. And Joe's plan is about saying we're going to deal with it, but we're also going to create jobs. Donald Trump, when asked about the wildfires in California, and the question was, the science is telling us.
You know what she's about to say.
Science doesn't know.
What does that mean?
So, let's talk about who is prepared.
There are so many good gifts
country
out of this, y'all.
over the course of the next 4 years on what is an existential threat to us as human beings. Joe is about saying we're going to invest that in renewable energy. It's going to be about the creation of millions of jobs.
That website just went down, I bet you.
We will achieve
Everybody's going to it right
zero
now.
emissions by 2050, carbon neutral by 2035. Joe has a plan. This has been a lot of talk from the Trump administration, and really it has been to go backward instead of forward. We will also re-enter the climate agreement with pride.
Senator Harris just said that climate change is an existential threat.
It is.
Vice President Pence, do you believe that climate change poses an existential threat?
As I said, Susan, the climate is changing. We'll follow
Oh, my God. Answer the question, honey.
Once again,
Maybe if Mother
Senator
asked
Harris,
it, he would, give an answer.
is denying the fact that they're going to raise taxes on every American.
That's
Joe
not what she
Biden said
asked you.
twice in the debate last week. that
Talk
on
about
day one,
climate
he
change.
was going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. Those tax cuts delivered $2,000 in tax relief.
If
to the
y'all wouldn't
average
mind
family
liking the
of
video, I'd
4 across America.
appreciate it.
With regard to banning fracking, I just recommend.
And if you
that
don't
people
like the video, Pence is
look at
going to
the
come to your
record.
house
You
with Mother
yourself
and
said
give you a big old
repeatedly that
kiss.
you would
Do you
ban
want Pence
fracking.
to
You
give
were
you a
the
kiss
first
with Mother?
Senate co-sponsor of the Green New Deal. And while Joe Biden denied the Green New Deal, Susan, thank you for pointing out the Green New Deal is on their campaign website. And as USA Today said, it's essentially the same
Thank
plan
you.
as
Thank you, Marshall,
co-sponsored
honey.
with AOC
Thank you
when
so
she
much,
submitted it in
Harley.
the Senate. And you just heard the senator say that she's going to resubmit America to the Paris Climate
Yeah,
Accord.
we're a part of the planet with other
The American
countries.
people have
Why would
always
we not
cherished
be
our
in it?
environment. We'll
It makes
continue
no
to cherish it.
sense.
We've made great progress reducing CO2 emissions through American
We all
innovation
live on the
and
same
development of
planet,
natural gas
honey.
and fracking. We don't need a massive
Not everybody
$2
can hide
trillion
behind
Green
Mother.
New Deal that would impose all new mandates on American businesses and American families.
Thank you.
Joe Biden wants us
Thank
to
you, Vice
retrofit
President Pence.
4 million
Thank you, Vice
American
President
business
Pence.
buildings. It makes no sense. It will cost jobs. President Trump
Thank
is
you,
going to
cost
put America
lives.
first. He's going to put jobs
Shut up.
first, and we're going to take
Shut him up,
care of our
girls.
environment and follow the science.
Shut him
So
up.
on the issue of jobs,
Senator Harris.
let's talk about that. The vice president earlier referred to, as part of what he thinks is an accomplishment, the president's trade war with China. You lost that trade war.
That's
You
right.
lost it. What ended up happening
Oh,
is
somebody
because
coughed
of
in
a
the
so-called
audience. Did
trade
y'all
war
hear
with
that?
China, America lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs. Farmers have
Exactly,
experienced
Arlene.
bankruptcy because of it. We are in a manufacturing recession because of it. And when we look at where this administration has been, there are estimates that by the end of the term of this administration, they will have lost more jobs than almost any other presidential administration. And the American people
it's
know what
our
I'm talking
time,
about.
honey.
You
Quiet
know.
up.
I think about 20-year-olds. You know, we have a 20-year-old, a 20-something-year-old, who are coming out of high school and college right now, and you're wondering, is there going to be a job there for me?
Exactly.
We're looking at people who are trying to figure out how they're going to pay rent by the end of the month. Almost half of American renters are worried about whether they're going to be able to pay rent by the end of the month. This is where the economy is in America right now.
Preach it,
and
honey.
it is because of the catastrophe
Of
and the
this
failure
administration
of leadership of
and the
this
lies.
administration.
Thank
Get
you,
it, honey.
Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you just 15 seconds to respond, because then I want to move on to
Well, I'd love to respond. Look, lost the trade war with China. Joe Biden never fought it.
He's
Joe
not the
Biden's been a cheerleader
president.
for communist China through over the last several decades. And again, Senator Harris, you're entitled to your opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. When Joe Biden was vice
Why does
president,
he
we
keep
lost
stealing that?
200,000 manufacturing jobs. And President Obama said they were never coming back. He said we needed a magic wand to bring them back. In our first 3 years after we cut taxes,
you, Vice
rolled back
President
regulation, unleashed American energy, this administration saw 500,000
Thank you, Vice
manufacturing
President
jobs
Pence.
created. And that's exactly the kind of growth we're going to continue to see as we bring our nation through
Thank you, Vice
this
President
pandemic.
Pence.
But a Green New
Thank you,
Deal, your
Vice
massive
President
new
Pence.
mandates, your Paris Climate Accord, it's going to kill jobs this time, just like it killed jobs.
I'd like
Susan,
to-
I just need to respond very briefly,
15
please.
seconds, and
Thank
then
you.
we'll move
Thank
on.
you. Joe Biden is responsible for saving America's auto industry, and you voted against it. So let's set the record straight.
It had a huge AIDS
I'd like to
outbreak
talk
in
about
Indiana.
China.
Indiana.
We have, as our next topic, we have no more complicated or consequential foreign relationship than the one with China. It is a huge market for American agricultural goods. It's a potential partner.
Why didn't she
in
write
dealing with
everything
climate change
down in
North
like
Korea.
a construction
And in a
paper
video
book?
tonight,
They're all
President
different
Trump
colors.
again blamed it for the coronavirus, saying
Maybe they
China
have that so
will
people
pay.
can't see inside.
Vice
maybe.
President Pence, how would you describe our fundamental relationship with China? Competitors, adversaries, enemies? You have 2 minutes.
Skincare
Thank you, Susan.
for you.
Well, before I leave that, let me speak to voting records if I can.
Okay, well,
You know,
this is going to be part of your
everybody
time.
knows that NAFTA cost literally thousands of American factories to close. We saw automotive jobs go south of the border. President Trump fought to renegotiate NAFTA. And the
He
United
just
States
renamed
Mexico-Canada
it.
agreement is now the law of the land.
This is
American people
insane.
deserve to know.
He renamed
Senator
it.
Kamala Harris was one of only 10 members of the Senate to vote against the USMCA.
Oh my God.
It was a huge win for American auto workers. It was a huge win for American farmers, especially dairy in the upper Midwest. But Senator, you said it didn't go far enough.
Very
on
true,
climate
Mondo.
change.
Nobody owns the earth. We should
That you put
understand. We
your
are privileged to
radical
live in this
environmental
beautiful
agenda
planet that birthed
ahead
us,
of
and we
American
kill
auto
her.
workers and ahead of
heartbreaking.
American jobs. I think the American people deserve to know that. Is probably why Newsweek magazine said that Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the United States Senate in 2019.
There's nothing
More
wrong with
liberal
being
than Bernie
liberal.
Sanders, more
Oh,
liberal
what?
than any of the others.
And they're
in the
they're
United
saying this
States
to
Senate.
scare
So,
white
now,
grandma.
with regard to China, look, Susan, first and foremost,
Oh my God, you're a hot mess.
China
Pence.
is to blame for the coronavirus. And President Trump is not happy about it. He's made that very clear, made it clear again today. China and the World Health Organization
Did he?
did not play straight with the American people. They did not let our personnel into China to get information on the coronavirus until the middle of February. Fortunately, President Trump, in dealing with China from
What
the
did he
outset of this
do?
administration, standing up to China that had been taking advantage of America for decades in the wake of
Trump's
Joe
toupee
Biden's
came
cheerleading
from
for China.
China.
President Trump made that decision before the end of January to suspend all travel from China. And again, the American people deserve to know Joe Biden.
Then why is there
opposed
200,000
President
people
Trump's decision to
dead?
suspend
Why
all
couldn't he just tell
travel
everybody to put on a
from China.
mask?
He said it was hysterical. He said it was
Thank you, Vice President
xenophobic.
Pence.
But President Trump has
Vice President
stood
Pence,
up
your
to
time is
China.
up.
We're going to continue
Time's
to
up,
stand
honey.
strong.
Thank you, Vice President Pence.
We want to improve the relationship, but we're going to
Cut his
level the
mic.
playing field.
Cut
We're going
his
to hold
mic.
China
Pence.
accountable for what they did
Tell
to
him I
America
won't
at
tell
the
you
coronavirus.
again.
Thank you. Senator Harris, let me ask you the same question that I asked the Vice President. How would you describe our fundamental relationship with China? Are we competitors, adversaries, enemies? You'll have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Susan, the Trump administration's perspective and approach to China has resulted in the loss of American lives, American jobs, and America's standing. There's a weird obsession that President Trump has had with getting rid of whatever accomplishment
Obama.
was achieved by President Obama and Vice President Biden. For example, They created within the White House an office that basically was responsible for monitoring pandemics. They got away, they got rid of it.
Not true.
There
Yes, it
was
is.
a team of disease experts that President Obama and Vice President Biden dispatched to China to monitor what is now predictable and what might happen. They pulled them out. We
Yeah.
now are looking at 210,000 Americans who have lost their lives. Let's look at the job situation. We mentioned before the trade deal, the trade war, they wanted to call it, with China. It resulted in the loss of over 300 manufacturing jobs and a manufacturing recession, and the American consumer paying thousands of dollars more for goods.
Is he
because
looking
of
at
that
Mother?
failed
Because he's not looking at the
war, that they
camera,
called it.
and he's
And let's
already
talk
on the
about
left side of the
Standard.
stage, so he's
a
not looking at
reputable
the lady.
research firm
He's got to be looking at his wife,
has done
right?
an analysis that shows that leaders of all of our formerly allied
No, because his wife's on the other
have now
side.
decided that they hold in greater esteem and respect Xi Jinping, the head of the Chinese Communist Party, than they do Donald Trump, the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief
Has
of the
just
United
sunk
States.
this country.
This is where we are
Cheapened it.
today.
It's like America
Because
got, you
of a
bought America
failure
off
of
Wish.com.
leadership by this administration.
You're like, this ain't what I ordered. This is the hot
Senator
man.
Harris, we've seen changes in the role of the United States in terms of global leadership over the past 4 years. And of course, times do change. What's your definition? We've seen strains with China, of course, as the Vice President mentioned. We've seen strains with our traditional allies in NATO and elsewhere. What is your definition of the role of American leadership in 2020?
So, you know, Joe is, I love talking with Joe about a lot of these issues. And, you know, Joe, I think he said it quite well. He says, you know, foreign policy, it might sound complicated, but really it's relationships. So just think about it as relationships. And so we know this in our personal and professional relationships. You got to keep your word to your friends. Got to be loyal to your friends. People who've stood with you, got to stand with them. You got to know who your adversaries are and keep them in check.
No, she can do
But
that.
what we have seen with Donald Trump is that he has betrayed our friends and embraced dictators around the world. Let's take, for example,
The
Russia.
summit. Yeah, she's going to talk about that summit.
So, Russia, I serve on the Intelligence Committee of the United States Senate. America's intelligence community told us Russia interfered in the election of the President of the United States in 2016 and is playing in 2020. Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, said the same. But Donald Trump, the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America, prefers to take the word of Vladimir Putin over the word of the American intelligence community. You look at our friends at NATO. He has walked away from agreements. You can look at the Iran nuclear deal, which now has put us in a position where we are less safe because they are building up what might end up being a significant nuclear arsenal. We were in that deal, guys. We were in the Iran nuclear deal with friends, with allies around the country. And because of Donald Trump's unilateral approach to foreign policy, coupled with his isolationism, he pulled us out and has made America less safe. So, Susan, it's about relationships. And the thing that has always been part of the strength of our nation, in addition to our great military, has been that we keep our word. But Donald Trump doesn't understand that because he doesn't understand what it means to be honest.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
ain't that the
Thank
truth,
you, Senator
Anna?
Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you a chance to respond.
Well, thank you. Well, President Trump kept his word when we moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel. When Joe Biden was vice president, they promised to do that, and they never did. We've stood strong with our allies, but we've been demanding. NATO is now contributing more to our common defense than ever before, thanks to President Trump's leadership. We've strengthened our alliances across the
I wouldn't be
Asia
shocked if the
Pacific.
money was going to his bank
And we've
account.
stood strong.
Yeah,
against
Barbara,
those
that
who would
was
do
the
us harm.
statement of the night.
You know, when President
That was
Trump came into
that was
office,
so well done. I was just in
ISIS
awe.
had captured an area of the Middle East the size of Pennsylvania. But President Trump unleashed the American military, and our armed forces destroyed the ISIS caliphate and took down their leader, al-Baghdadi, without one American casualty. Al-Baghdadi was responsible for the death of thousands. But notably, America's hearts today are with the family of Kayla Mueller, her parents of which are here with us tonight in Salt Lake City. Today, 2 of the ISIS killers responsible for Kayla Mueller's murder were brought to justice in the United States. Jihadi John was killed on the battlefield along with the other beetle. The reality is that when Joe Biden was vice president, we had an opportunity to save Kayla Mueller. It breaks my heart to reflect on it, but the military came into the Oval Office, presented a plan. They said they knew where Kayla was. Baghdadi had held her for 18 months, abused her mercilessly before they killed her. But when Joe Biden was vice president, they hesitated for a month. And when armed forces finally went in, it was clear she'd been moved 2 days earlier. And her family says with a heart that broke the heart of every American that if President Donald Trump had been president, they believe Kayla would be alive today.
Thank you, Vice
Look, we
President.
destroyed
That is
the
so
ISIS
sick to
caliphate.
play with someone's
And you talk about
dead
re-entering
child.
the Iran nuclear deal.
Oh,
The
these
last
people, I
administration
tell you what,
transferred
no.
$1.8 billion
Oh my
to the
God.
leading state
Nothing. You can't put
Thank you,
nothing
Vice
past
sponsor
them.
of
It's so
terrorism.
disgusting.
President Donald Trump got us out of the
Thank
deal.
you, Vice President Pence.
And,
Shut up,
when
mother.
Qasem Soleimani was traveling to Baghdad
Thank you,
to do
Vice President
harm
Pence.
to Americans, President Donald Trump took
Thank you, Vice
out.
President.
Jesus,
And
Lord have
America
mercy.
is safer.
So
our
sick.
allies are
So
safer. And the American people
disgusting.
know
Shut
President
the hell
Donald
up,
Trump will
Pence.
never have
Thank
Oh,
you,
I'm
Vice
sorry. I
President.
shouldn't have said
Take
that.
action.
I'm
I would like to give
sorry.
Senator Harris a chance to respond, but not at such great length because, of course, there are other topics we want to talk about.
But I would like equal time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
First of all, to the Mueller family, I know about your daughter's case, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What happened to her is awful, and it should have never happened. And I know Joe feels the same way. And I know that President Obama feels the same way. But you mentioned Soleimani. Let's start there. So after the strike on Soleimani, there was a counter strike on our troops in Iraq. And they suffered serious brain injuries. And do you know what Donald Trump dismissed them as? Headaches. And this is about a pattern of Donald Trump's, where he has referred to our men who are serving in our military as suckers and losers. Donald Trump, who went to Arlington Cemetery and stood above the graves of our fallen heroes and said, what's in it for them? Because, of course, you know, he only thinks about what's in it for him. Let's take what he said about John McCain, a great American hero. And Donald Trump says he doesn't deserve to be called a hero because he was a prisoner of war. And this is very important when you want to talk about who is the current commander-in-chief and what they care about and what they don't care about. Public reporting that Russia had bounties on the heads
soldiers.
of American soldiers. And you know what a bounty is? It's somebody puts a price on your head and they will pay it if you are killed. And Donald Trump had talked at least 6 times to Vladimir Putin.
Never once brought it up.
And never brought up the subject. Joe Biden would never do that.
Thank you.
Joe Biden would, but Joe Biden would hold Russia to account for any threat to our nation's security. Or
I know
to
the
our
bounty. So much
troops
happens,
who are
Barbara. It's
sacrificing
we forget
their
everything.
lives for
You
the sake
know.
of our democracy and our safety.
Thank you, Senator Harris. This is such an important issue, but we have other important issues as well. And
Susan,
I want to make
respond
sure
to
we have a chance
I really have to
talk
respond
about
to
it.
No, you don't. Keep
she
it
has-
going.
15 seconds because
Well, I got to
we're
have
trying
more
to
than
keep.
No.
that. Look,
Well, I'm sorry, but Vice President
Look,
Pence, you've had more time than she's had so far.
Slanders against President
Take
Donald
control. See,
Trump
this is what I'm talking about.
regarding many
Y'all
of our armed forces.
Take
absurd.
control.
I'm
You are
sorry,
the
Vice
My
moderator.
son is
Pence.
a captain in the United
Yes.
States Marine Corps. My son-in-law is
You
deployed in the
are
United States Navy.
this is so
I can
horrible.
assure all of
You
you,
are the
His
debate
sons and daughters
lady.
serving in our military. President Donald Trump not only respects but reveres all of those who serve in our armed forces.
whatever.
And any suggestion
It doesn't
otherwise
reveal
is
anything but maybe a
ridiculous.
Big Mac.
Let
Get
me
it
take Vice
together.
President Pence. Vice
The
President
American
Pence,
people deserve, Susan,
Vice
the American
President
people
Pence, I
deserve to
didn't,
know.
Vice President
that-
Pence, I did not, excuse me,
Susan, the
I did
American
not
people
create
deserve
the
to know
rules for tonight.
Joe Biden.
Your
and
campaigns agreed to the rules for tonight's debate.
Why
with
is
the
she looking
Commission
at
on
Kamala?
Presidential
She
Debates.
didn't
I'm
say
here to
it. Look
enforce
at
them,
him.
which involves moving from one topic to another. Giving
Why are we
roughly
looking at
equal
Kamala?
time
This
to
is
both of you,
unfair.
which is
Shut
what
up.
I'm trying very hard to do.
Go right ahead.
So I want to go ahead and move to the next topic, which is an important one,
Lord.
as the last topic was, and that is the Supreme Court.
I don't understand. I mean,
On
these
Monday,
are
the Senate Judiciary Committee is scheduled to open hearings
she's a
on Amy
powerful
Coney Barrett's
woman.
nomination to the Supreme Court.
Susan.
Senator Harris, you'll be there as a
USA
member of the
Today.
committee.
Tell them
Her
no.
confirmation would
Take
cement
control,
the clerk's
honey.
conservative
Let me
majority
let
and
me
make it likely
moderate.
open
Let
to
me
more
moderate
abortion
this.
restrictions, even to overturning
wish
the
they
landmark
would.
Roe v. Wade ruling.
I'll do it over Zoom,
Access
honey.
to abortion would then be up to the states. Vice President Pence, you're the
Lord,
former
have
governor
mercy.
of Indiana. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want Indiana to do? Would you want your home state
He's
to
going to have a
ban
good night with
all
Mother that
abortions?
night.
You have 2
Yeah,
minutes,
duh.
uninterrupted.
Well, thank you for the question, but I'll use
He
a little
had
bit of my time to
women that
respond to
had
the
miscarriages have mock funerals
The American
for
people
him.
deserve to know.
He's a
Qasem
nut job.
Soleimani, the Iranian general, was
The mock?
responsible for the
No,
death
that's
of
not what we're
hundreds
talking
of
about.
American service members.
Oh my God, here
When
we
the opportunity
go.
came, we saw him headed to Baghdad to kill more Americans. President Trump
She's not
didn't
moderating.
hesitate.
Here we go
And Qasem
again.
Soleimani
It's
is gone.
the train's
But you
coming
deserve to
up,
know that Joe
y'all.
Biden
The train is
And
jumping
Kamala
trains.
Harris actually criticized the decision to take
Oh,
outside.
it's jumped.
Qasem
This is on
Soleimani.
abortion, honey.
It's really inexplicable.
What are you talking
but
about?
With regard to Joe Biden,
Salami, all
it's
this.
explainable. Because history
We're
records that Joe
talking
Biden actually
about
opposed the
abortion,
raid against
honey.
Osama bin Laden.
Mr.
It's
Mr.
absolutely
Pence.
essential
That's not what
that
was
we have a
asked.
commander-in-chief who
Oh,
will
my
not hesitate to
God.
act to protect American lives.
She is
and to protect
horrible,
American
just like
service members,
Chris.
and that's what
I
you
mean,
have
I don't
with President
understand why
Trump.
it's so hard.
Now, with regard to the Supreme Court of the United States,
Supreme
let me say
Court.
President Trump and I could not be more enthusiastic
Oh my God! Answer
about
the
the
question.
opportunity to see Judge
Answer
Amy
the
Coney
question.
Barrett
He's a
become Justice
moisturizer.
Amy Coney Barrett.
Why is his forehead
And she's
so
a brilliant woman,
dark, but his cheeks are
And,
powdery?
She will bring a lifetime of experience and a sizable American family to the Supreme Court of the United States. And our hope is, in the
Sizable
hearing next
family.
week, unlike Justice Kavanaugh received with treatment from you and others, we hope she gets a fair hearing. And we particularly hope that we
Oh
don't see
yeah,
the kind of
Handmaid's
attacks on
Tale.
her
Hope she does.
Christian faith that we saw before.
Oh,
And the
whatever.
Democrat chairman of
They
the
want to
Judiciary
pressure their
Committee
faith
before,
on everybody.
when
Get saved.
Judge Barrett was being confirmed for the Court of Appeals, expressed concern that the dogma of her faith lived loudly in her. Dick
Oh,
Durbin
my
of Illinois
Lord.
said that it was a concern. Senator, I know one of our judicial nominees, you actually attacked because they
Lisa
were
says he
members of the
looks like he
Catholic
was
Knights of
dropped in a bag
Columbus,
of flour. He
just
does,
because the
doesn't
Knights
he?
of Columbus holds pro-life views and
Thank
pro-marriage
you.
views.
Thank you, Vice President.
He didn't
My
answer
hope
the
is that when the
question.
hearing takes place,
Thank you, Vice President Pence.
that Judge Amy Coney Barrett
That's
will
not
be
what was
respected,
asked.
Thank you,
treated
Vice President.
respectfully,
Moderate, honey.
voted and confirmed
Thank
to the
you.
Supreme Court. of
Oh
the
my
United
God.
States.
Senator Harris, you're the senator from and former Attorney General of California.
This-
So let me
oh
ask
my
you a parallel
gosh.
question to the one I posed. to the Vice
Moderate,
President.
honey.
If Roe v.
Moderate.
Wade is overturned, what would you want California to do? Would you want your home state to enact no restrictions on access to abortion? And you have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Thank you, Susan.
It's
First of
already
all,
settled. There
Joe
shouldn't be
Biden
any
and I are both
restriction.
people of faith, and it's insulting to suggest that we would knock anyone for their faith. And in fact, Joe, if elected, will be only the second practicing Catholic as president of the United
JFK,
States.
honey.
On the issue of this nomination, Joe and I are very clear, as are the majority of the American people. We are 27 days before the decision about who will be the next president of the United States. And, you know, before, when this conversation has come up, you know, it's been about election year or election time. We're literally in
Exactly,
an election.
Tremaine.
Over 4 million people have voted. People are in the process of voting right now. And so Joe has been very clear, as the American people are. Let the American people fill that seat in the White House, and then we'll fill that seat on the United States Supreme Court. And to your point, Susan, the the issues before us couldn't be more serious. There's the issue of choice, and I will always fight for a woman's right to make a decision about her own body. It should be her decision and not that of Donald Trump and the Vice President, Michael Pence. But let's also look at what else is before the court. It's the Affordable Care Act. Like, literally in the midst of a public health
she almost got up, honey.
When over 210,000
we're all going to
people
have pre-existing
died, and 7
conditions.
million
His
people
eyes are pre-existing condition.
probably have what will be in the future considered a pre-existing condition because you contracted the virus. Donald Trump is in court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And I said it before, and it bears repeating. This means that there will be no more protections if they win for people with pre-existing conditions. This means that over 20 million people will lose your coverage. It means that if you're under the age of 26, you can't stay on your parents' coverage anymore. And here's the thing. The contrast couldn't be more clear. They're trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Joe Biden is saying, let's expand coverage. Let's give you a choice of a public option or private coverage.
Just like you forced Obama to wait to elect a Supreme Court judge. Exactly, Linda, honey. Preach it.
That's true leadership.
You know, you mentioned earlier, Vice President Pence, that the president was committed to maintaining protections for people with pre-existing conditions. But you do have this court case that you are supporting, your administration supporting, that would strike down the Affordable Care Act. The president says, President Trump says that he's going to protect people with pre-existing conditions, but he has not explained how he would do that. And that was one of the toughest nuts to crack when they were passing the Affordable Care Act. So tell us specifically, how would your administration protect Americans with pre-existing conditions
Pence, tell us,
access to affordable insurance if the Affordable Care Act is struck down?
Well, thank you, Susan. But let me just say, addressing your very first question, I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. I'm pro-life. I don't apologize for
wonder
that.
how many abortions Trump paid for.
And this is another one of those cases where there's such a dramatic contrast.
The lies we tell.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. Late-term abortion.
Oh, okay, because people just go out and get abortions for fun. Yeah.
Of America.
My best friend Susie, she just has so many abortions. It's her favorite thing, favorite pastime.
Of the United States, but
oh my God, he makes me so sick.
For the right to life.
You know, they make it like they talk about abortion like it's a freaking just. That's probably.
Are you and Joe Biden?
That is the hardest choice. I'm sure a lot of people, women, have to choose. I mean, are you get saved?
On the Supreme Court during presidential election years from George
Would you rather a woman just go in a back alley and pay somebody to pull out the fetus with a damn clothes hanger? I mean, get it together.
Openly advocating adding seats to the Supreme Court, which has had 9 seats for 150 years, if you don't get your way. This is a classic case of
get your way. You want to talk about getting your way?
Now,
you changed the rules. Your party changed the rules. When Obama should have been able to pick his justice.
Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed at the Supreme Court of the United States. Are you and Joe Biden?
Bleep Amy Corn Dog or Coney Island or whatever her name's called.
To get your way.
Bleep her.
I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more.
Yes, take us to history.
Well, I'd like you to answer the question.
No, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. In 1864, one of the political heroes, certainly of the president, I assume of you also, Mr. Vice President, is Abraham Lincoln. Mm-hmm. Abraham Lincoln was up for re-election.
So she must have practiced whatever she's saying. That's why she's like, yes.
And a seat became open on the United States Supreme Court. Abraham Lincoln's party was in charge not only of the White House, but the Senate. But Honest Abe said it's not the right thing to do. The American people deserve to make the decision about who will be the next president of the United States. And then that person can select who will serve for a lifetime on the highest court of our land. And so Joe and I are very clear.
I want her face on a T-shirt.
Right,
I'm speaking.
And it should be
I like when she does that. I'm speaking.
About who will serve on this most important.
Oh, and he can't handle it because he doesn't want a woman of power, you know.
Senator Harris.
People, Susan, are voting right now.
You can't be
They'd
equal
like to know
in his
if you and Joe
eyes.
Biden are going to pack the Supreme Court if you don't get your way in this nomination.
Let's talk about packing.
You once
Come
again
on.
gave a non-answer. Joe Biden gave a non-answer.
Non-answer.
You
The American
know.
people deserve a straight answer. And if you haven't figured it out yet, the straight answer is they are going to pack the Supreme Court if they somehow win this election. Men and
Mr.
women,
Vice President,
I got to
I
tell you,
think
people across this country, if you cherish our Supreme Court, if you cherish the separation of powers, you need to reject the Biden-Harris ticket. Come November the 3rd, re-elect
Oh, I
President
love her
Donald Trump, and we'll
eyebrows.
stand
Look
by
at that
that
arch,
separation
y'all.
of powers in a 9-seat Supreme
Oh,
Court.
look
Yeah,
at
let's
that
talk
arch.
about packing the court then. Let's talk about the
Please.
fact. Yeah, I'm about to. So, the Trump-Pence administration has been.
Oh, this is
because I
so
sit on
good.
the Senate Judiciary Committee, Susan, as you mentioned, and I've witnessed the appointments for lifetime appointments to
From
the federal
crazies.
courts, district courts, courts of appeal. People who are purely ideological, people who have been reviewed by legal professional organizations and found
be
to have
quacks.
been not competent, are substandard. And do you know that of the 50 people who President Trump appointed to the Court of Appeals for lifetime appointments, not one is black? This is what they've been doing. You want to talk about packing a court? Let's have that discussion.
Get it.
Thank you, Senator. Let's go on and talk about
honey.
the issue.
Oh,
of
she gave that
racial
eye, honey.
justice.
I just
Oh,
want
she
the
gave
record
that
reflect she
honey.
never answered the question. So maybe
you
the next
have-
debate, Joe Biden will answer the question.
Thank you-
But I think
thank
the
you.
American people know the answer.
Thank you, Vice President.
Like you've answered everything with that.
In March,
False
Breonna
eye,
Taylor,
whatever's
a
going on with that
26-year-old
eye.
emergency room technician in Louisville, was shot and killed after police officers executing a search warrant in a narcotics investigation broke into her
Wrong
apartment.
house.
The police said they identified themselves. Taylor's boyfriend said he didn't hear them do that.
Who
He
wants
used
to
a
be
gun
woke up in the middle of the
registered to
night?
fire a
People
shot,
raiding your house.
which wounded an officer. The officers then
this is
fired more than
horrible.
20 rounds into the apartment. They say they were acting in self-defense. None of them have been indicted in connection with
They
her death.
broke into her house.
Senator Harris, in the
They
case
were doing
of
nothing
Breonna
wrong
Taylor,
in the middle of the night.
was justice done?
Sickening.
You have 2 minutes.
She was murdered.
I don't believe so. And I've talked with Breonna's mother, Tamika Palmer, and her family. And her family deserves justice. She was a beautiful young woman. She had as her life goal to become a nurse, and she wanted to
Oh,
become
what?
an
Okay, I'm
EMT to
sorry,
first
BLT,
learn
honey.
what's going on.
I think
out
I'm
on the
confused
street,
it with
so
the
she could
other
then
time. It's happened
become
so
a
many
nurse and
times,
save
honey.
lives. And her life was taken.
Happened to Nay in
Unjustifiably,
Chicago. Y'all remember
tragically,
that
violently.
story? They
And it
raided
just-
the wrong
it
house.
brings me to, you know, the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that America witnessed, during which an American man was tortured and killed under the knee of an armed, uniformed police officer.
And didn't he just get out on bail today?
And people around our country of every race, of every age, of every gender, perfect strangers to each other, marched shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, fighting for us to finally achieve that ideal of equal justice under law. And I was a part of those peaceful protests.
And Trump wants to roll it
And
back, y'all.
I believe strongly that, first of all, we are never going to condone violence, but we always must fight for the values that we hold dear, including the fight to achieve our ideals. And that's why Joe Biden and I have said on this subject, look, and I'm a former career prosecutor. I know what I'm talking about. Bad cops are bad for good cops. We need reform of our policing in America and our criminal justice system, which is why Joe and I will immediately ban chokeholds and carotid holds. George Floyd would be alive today if we did that. We will require a national registry for police officers who break the law. We will, on the issue of criminal justice reform, get rid of private prisons and cash bail, and we will decriminalize marijuana, and
Thank
we
you,
will
Senator Harris.
we will expunge the records of those who have
Thank you,
been
Senator
convicted
Harris.
Yes,
of marijuana.
ma'am.
This is
Yes,
time for
ma'am.
leadership on a tragic issue
Senator Harris,
of
your time
unarmed
is up.
black people in America who have
Thank
been
you, Senator
killed.
Harris. Vice President Pence, let me pose the same question to you. In the case of Breonna Taylor,
Look at her
was
looking at
justice
him.
done? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Well, our heart breaks.
Yeah, I'm
for the
sure
loss
it
of
does.
any innocent American life.
Oh, see, he's not. He
And
can't even
family
say
of
it.
Breonna Taylor
Any
has our
innocent
sympathies.
lies.
But
Potato
I
head.
trust our justice system.
Oh,
a
do
grand
you?
jury that refused the
Yeah, if you pack them with,
And it really is remarkable that as a former
with
prosecutor,
racist.
you would assume that an impaneled grand jury looking at all the evidence got it wrong. But you're entitled to your opinion, Senator. I think, look, and with regard to George Floyd, there's no excuse for what happened to George Floyd. And justice will be served.
Well,
But there's also no excuse for the rioting and looting that followed.
oh, yeah.
I mean, it
Really?
really is astonishing. Flora Westbrook is with us here tonight in Salt Lake City. Just a few weeks ago, I stood at what used to be her salon. Was burned to the ground by rioters and looters. And Flora is still trying to put her life back together. And I must tell you, this presumption that you hear consistently from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that America is systemically racist, and that, as Joe Biden said, that he believes that law enforcement has an implicit bias against minorities, is a great insult
This man is nothing.
to the men and women.
Oh,
who
there's a
serve in
fly
law
on his
enforcement.
head.
I want everyone to know who puts on the
And the
uniform of law
fly's taking a
enforcement
dump
every
on
day.
his head, y'all.
President Trump and I stand
Even the
with
fly
you.
says you're smelly.
And it is remarkable that when
Oh my
Senator Tim
God,
Scott
look at the
tried to
fly.
pass a police reform bill,
It knows
brought
he's
together
full
a
of
group
shit.
of Republicans and Democrats, Senator Harris,
Oh, the fly.
you got up and walked out
the
of the
fly
room.
is on his
And then you
head.
filibustered Senator
Oh my God!
Tim
Like the
Scott's
video, the
bill
fly
on the
is
Senate
on his
floor that
head. It
would
knows
provide
he's
new
speaking
accountability,
shit.
New resources.
Oh my
But we
God.
don't have to choose between
The
supporting
fly
law
died
enforcement,
on his
improving public
head.
safety, and supporting our
It knows he's a
African-American
turd.
Thank you,
neighbors
Vice
and
President.
I
all
am
of our minorities.
done.
Under President
Oh,
Trump's
she needs to say,
leadership,
honey, get that
we've
fly
always
to your
stand with
head.
law enforcement, and will do
Oh my
what we've
God.
done
Vice
from day
President
one,
Pence,
and
thank
that is
you. Your time
improve
is
the
up.
lives
So
of
even the
African
bugs know
Americans.
he's full of
Thank you,
poop.
Vice
Record
President.
Even the
unemployment,
bugs know
record
he's full of
investments in
poop.
Your time
education,
is
and will
up.
fight for school choice for all of our
Look at
members.
the fly.
Senator Harris.
Look at the
I will
fly.
not sit here and be
It's
lectured
not
by
gone
Vice
yet.
President
No, I didn't
on what
CGI
it
the
means
fly.
to
This
enforce
is
the laws of
live. I
occupancy.
swear to
I'm the
God,
only
y'all,
one
I'm
on
not.
the stage who has
The
personally
fly is
prosecuted
real.
everything from child sexual assault.
Look
to
at the
homicide.
fly.
I'm the
Oh my
only one on
God.
the stage who has
Y'all, the
prosecuted
fly
big banks
died. The
for
fly
taking advantage
died
of America's
on his
homeowners.
head.
I'm the
Maybe
only
that's a
one on
bug
this
that
stage
Trump's sitting in
who
so he
prosecuted
could
for-profit
he could view
colleges
it.
for taking
I don't
advantage
know.
of our veterans. And the
This
reality
fly is
of
going to
this
be a
is
meme.
that we are talking about
Oh
an
my
election in
God.
27 days, where last week the President of the
Oh my
United States took a
God.
debate stage in front of 70
I'm
million
dead.
Americans and refused to condemn white supremacists.
Not true.
And
Not true.
it wasn't like he didn't have a chance. He didn't do it, and then he doubled down. And then he said, when pressed, stand back.
Stand
Stand
by.
by. And this is a part of a pattern of Donald Trump's. He
Let me
called
tweet this.
Mexicans rapists and criminals. He instituted as his first act a Muslim ban. He, on the issue of Charlottesville, where people were peacefully protesting the need for racial justice, where a young woman was killed. And on the other side, there were neo-Nazis carrying tiki torches, shouting racial epithets, anti-Semitic slurs. And Donald Trump, when asked about it, said there were fine people on both sides. This is who we have as the President of the United States. And America, you deserve better. Joe Biden will be a president who brings our country together
Senator Harris.
and recognizes the beauty in our diversity and the fact that we
Senator
all
Harris,
have
thank
so
you.
much more in common than what separates us.
Vice President Pence, let me give you
Oh
a
my
minute
God.
to respond.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that very much. You know, I think this is one of the things that makes people dislike the media
God.
so much in this country, Susan, is that you selectively edit, just like Senator Harris did, comments that President Trump and I and others on our side of the aisle make. I mean, Senator Harris conveniently omitted, after the president made comments about people on either side of the debate over monuments, he condemned the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists, and has done so repeatedly. You're concerned that he doesn't condemn neo-Nazis. President Trump has Jewish grandchildren. His daughter and son-in-law are Jewish.
Oh yeah.
This is a president who respects and cherishes all of the American people. But you talk about having personally prosecuted. I'm glad you brought up your record, Senator.
Thank you.
But I really need to make this point. When you were DA in San Francisco, when you left office, African Americans were 19 times more likely to be prosecuted for minor drug offenses than whites and Hispanics. When you were Attorney General of California, you increased the disproportionate incarceration of blacks in California. You did nothing on criminal justice reform in California. You didn't lift a finger to pass the First Step Act on Capitol Hill. I mean, the reality is your record speaks for itself. President Trump and I have fought for criminal justice reform.
Thank you, Vice President
We fought
Pence.
for education choice and opportunities for African Americans, all of our
Thank you,
minorities.
sir.
Shut him
And
up.
we'll do it for 4 more
Thank
years.
you.
Shut him
there's
up.
no more important issue than the final issue that we're going to talk about tonight, and that is the issue of the election
But
itself.
he attacked my record. I would like an opportunity to
The
respond.
fly is
give you
now
30
on
seconds
Marine
because
One to Walter
because we're running out
Reed.
of time.
I appreciate that.
Jason Burns says on Twitter.
First of all, having served as the Attorney General of the state of California, the work that I did is a model of what our nation needs to do, and we will be able to do under a Joe Biden presidency. Our agenda includes what this administration has failed to do. It will be about not only instituting a ban on chokeholds and carotid holes.
Thank you.
Not only,
Thank you, Senator
I
Harris.
would like to go
Oh,
through.
somebody
These are
just
points that you made
sneezed.
earlier in the hour, and I want to talk about the election itself before we have to.
But I want to talk about the connection between what Joe and I will do and my record, which
Oh my
includes,
God, somebody
I was
coughed
the
again.
first
Get out of that
statewide
room,
officer to
honey.
institute
Put a bag
requirement
over
that
him.
my agents would wear body cameras and keep them on full time. We were the first to initiate a requirement.
Oh my
that
God,
there would
they
be a training
sneezed
for law
again.
enforcement
Get
on
'em
implicit bias,
out.
because yes, Joe Biden and I recognize that implicit bias does exist, Mr. Vice President, contrary to what you may believe. We did the work of instituting reforms that were about investing in reentry. This is the work that we have done and the work we will do going forward. And again, I will not be lectured by the Vice President on our record of what we have done in terms of law enforcement and keeping our communities safe and a commitment to reforming the criminal justice system of America.
Thank you, Senator Harris. And I'd like to pose I'd like you to respond first to the question on our final topic, the election itself. President Trump has several times refused to commit himself to a peaceful transfer of power after the election.
I
If your
wonder what
ticket
Mother's
wins
going to say about
and
that.
President Trump refuses to accept a peaceful
Oh my
transfer of
God,
power,
another
what
sneeze?
steps would you and Vice President Biden
These are
take?
fake
What would
sneezes.
happen
Somebody's doing this on
next?
purpose.
You have 2 minutes.
So I'll tell you, Joe and I are, I think, particularly proud of the coalition that we've built around our campaign. We probably have one of the broadest coalitions of folks that you've ever seen in a presidential race. Of course, we have the support of Democrats, but also independents and Republicans. In fact, 7 members of President George W. Bush's cabinet are supporting our ticket. We have the support of Colin Powell, Cindy McCain, John Kasich, over 500 generals, retired generals, and former national security experts and advisors are supporting our campaign. And I believe they are doing that because they know that Joe Biden has a deep, deep-seated commitment to fight for our democracy and to fight for the integrity of our democracy and to bring
Lord have
integrity
mercy.
back to the White House. And so we believe in the American people. We believe in our democracy. And here's what I'd like to say to everybody. Vote. Please vote. Vote early. Come up with a plan to vote. Go to iwillvote.com. You can also go to joebiden.com. We have it within our power in these next 27 days to make the decision about what will be the course of our country for the next 4 years. And it is within our power, and if we use our vote and we use our voice, we will win. And we will not let anyone subvert our democracy with what Donald Trump has been doing, as he did on the debate stage last week, when again in front of 70 million people, he openly
Sneeze?
attempted to suppress the vote. Joe Biden, on the other hand, on
Yes,
that same
ma'am.
debate stage, because clearly Donald Trump doesn't think he can run on a record because it's a failed record, Joe Biden on that stage said, hey, just please vote. So I'll repeat what Joe said. Please vote.
Thank you, Senator. Vice President Pence, President Trump has several times refused to commit himself to a peaceful transfer of power after the election. If Vice President Biden is declared the winner and President Trump refuses to accept a peaceful transfer of power, what would be your role and responsibility as Vice President? What would you personally do? You have 2 minutes.
Well, Susan, first and foremost, I think we're going to win this election. Because while Joe Biden and Kamala Harris rattle off a long litany of the establishment in Washington, D.C., an establishment that Joe Biden's been a part of for 47 years, President Donald Trump has launched a movement of everyday Americans from every walk of life.
A movement.
And
a bow movement.
Those same Americans.
The only movement I've ever had from the man.
2016, they see this president's record where we rebuild our military. We revived our economy through tax cuts and rolling back regulation, fighting for fair trade.
Can we get Medea to
American
moderate?
energy. We appointed conservatives to our federal courts at every level. And we stood with the men and women of law enforcement every single day.
Brant, a racist movement. I got to tweet that.
It's only grown stronger in the last 4 years. But when you talk about accepting the outcome of the election, I must tell you, Senator, your party has spent the last 3.5 years trying to overturn the results of the last election. It's amazing. When Joe Biden was Vice President of the United States, the FBI actually spied on President Trump and my campaign. I mean, there were documents released this week that the CIA actually made a referral to the FBI documenting that those allegations were coming from the Hillary Clinton campaign. And of course, we've all seen the avalanche, what you put the country through for the better part of 3 years until it was found that there was no obstruction, no collusion, case closed. And then Senator Harris, you and your colleagues in the Congress tried to impeach the President of the United States over a phone call. And now Hillary Clinton has actually said to Joe Biden that in her words, under no circumstances
Answer the
should he concede
question,
the election.
Mother.
So, let me just say, I think we're going to win this election.
Exactly,
President Trump and I
Cheryl.
are fighting every day.
That's
in
their
courthouses
job. Make
to
sure no
prevent
one's doing illegal
Joe Biden and
stuff.
Kamala Harris from
Exactly.
changing the rules and creating this universal mail-in voting that'll create a massive opportunity for voter fraud. And we have a free and fair election. We know we're going to have confidence in it. And I believe
If
in all
we
my heart
have
that
a free and
President
fair,
Biden
they're going to
wants
say
be
it wasn't
reelected for
fair.
4 more years.
You know, I've written all the questions that I've asked tonight, but for the final question of the debate,
She didn't write
I'd
it.
like to read a question that someone else wrote. The Utah Debate Commission asked students in the state to write essays about what they would like to ask you. And I want to close tonight's debate with the question posed by Brecklin Brown. She's an 8th grader at Springville Junior High in Springville, Utah. And here's what she wrote, quote, "When I watch the news, all I see is arguing between Democrats and Republicans. When I watch the news, all I see is citizen fighting against citizen. When I watch the news, all I see are two candidates from opposing parties trying to tear each other down.
No,
If our
one
leaders
is
can't
a
get along,
loser
how are
and
the
a horrible
citizens supposed to get
person.
along?" And then she added, "Your
Trash
examples
person, and one
could
is
make
not.
all the difference.
It's
to
not
bring us
equal,
together."
honey. I'm sorry. It's
So
just
to
not.
each of you in turn, I'd like you to take 1 minute
Trump is a
and
garbage
respond
person.
to Brecklin. Vice President
And
Pence, you
Pence
have
is
1
even worse because he
Brecklin, it's a
knows
wonderful
it's all
question.
BS.
And let me just commend you for taking an interest in public life. I started
I'd
following
shut the
news
door
when
if
I
he
was
said
very
that to
young.
me. Get away from me, you
And in
creep.
America, we believe in a free and open exchange of debate.
He's got some high cheekbones,
and we
doesn't he?
celebrate that.
He'd make a good
It's
drag
how
queen.
we've created literally the freest and most prosperous nation.
I could have put a
in the history
filter
of the
on him,
world.
y'all, and put a wig. Next
I-
next debate,
I would tell you that
I got some secrets for y'all.
don't assume that what you're seeing on your local news networks is synonymous with the American people. You know, I look at the relationship between Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the
Oh, I thought you were
late
going to say a
Justice
relationship
who
between
just
you and
lost in the
Mother.
Supreme Court, and the late Justice Antonin Scalia.
Exactly,
They
Linda.
were on polar opposites.
He's worse because he
on the
knows
Supreme
better.
Court of the United States. One very liberal, one very conservative. But what's been learned since her passing was the two of them and their families were the very closest of friends. I mean, here in America, we can disagree. We can debate vigorously. As
Yeah,
Senator
everybody
Harris
but
and I have
you,
on
because
this
I don't
stage
trust
tonight.
you. You're shifty.
But when the
Your
debate
eyes
is over,
leaking red
we come
stuff.
together as Americans. And that's what people do in big cities and small towns all across this country. So I just want to encourage you, Brecklin. I want to tell you that
What is he hitting
We're
on this
gonna work every
girl?
day to help
Back it
government
off,
leaders our
honey.
people,
Go get
the American
saved.
people each and every day. Love a good debate. We love a good argument, but we always come together and are always
Do
there for
you?
one
I don't
another
think you
in
do.
times of need. And
You
we're
spread
especially
corona
laid
around.
back
You won't put a mask
you,
on.
Vice
Go get
difficulties
saved.
this year.
You sicko.
Senator Harris, what would you
Liar
say
in
to
chief.
Brooklyn?
First of all, I love hearing from our young leaders. And when I hear her words, when I hear your words, Brecklin, I know our future is bright because it is that perspective on who we are and who we should be that is a sign of leadership and is something we should all aspire to be. And that, that brings me to Joe. Joe Biden, one of the reasons that Joe decided to run for president is after Charlottesville, which we talked about earlier. It so troubled him and upset him like it did all of us, that there was that kind of hate and division.
Yes, ma'am.
What propelled Joe to run for president was to see that over the course of the last 4 years, what Brecklin described has been happening. Joe has a long-standing reputation of working across the aisle and working in a bipartisan way. And that's what he's going to do as president. Joe Biden has a history
Holly, you didn't know that?
of
Yeah,
lifting
Pence
people
calls
up
his wife
and fighting
mother.
for their dignity.
And he can't
I mean, you
bring
have to
her in
know
a
Joe's
room
story to
unless,
know
I
that
mean,
Joe
he
has
can't
known
meet another
pain,
woman
he
unless
has known
mother's in the
suffering,
room.
and he has known love. And so, Brecklin, when you think about the future, I do believe the future is bright. And it will be because of your leadership, and it will be because we fight for each person's voice through their vote, and we get engaged in this election because you have the ability through your work and through eventually your vote
Thank you,
to
Senator
determine
Harris.
the future of our country and what its leadership looks like.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Thank you, Vice President Pence. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We want to thank also the University of Utah for its hospitality.
Listen
and
to
most
this
of
tweet.
all, our thanks to
So
all
good.
the Americans
This
who
tweet I
watched
just read from Gina on Twitter.
Again, our best
The fly
wishes
is now
for quick recovery
taken.
to President Trump,
What?
First Lady,
Oh, I thought they were
Debra,
about to cut to that.
battling
Is the fly is currently now
second
taking
presidential debate is next
hydrochlor?
week
What is
on
it?
October
Hydrochlor? Whatever that crazy. I can't pronounce this. Hydrochlorochloroquine. Oh my God. I am too done. I am just too done. Oh, that girl that wrote that question, I think she just said she got accepted into medical school. I think if that's the right one. Oh, that was Mother? I thought that was... Where's the mask? She doesn't have her mask on. She honestly took her mask off. She got up there with no... Are you kidding me? If you could not tell that there is any opposite of this. Really? Talk about disrespectful. Oh, you damn tramp. Look at that. Put your mask on. Can we get an announcement? Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. She's telling her put her mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Ugh. You are a mess. A hot mess. Always got to make the mask political, don't you? Why can't we say this? Can we say this on the loudspeaker? Put your mask on. Oh, Lord have mercy. So disrespectful. So disrespectful. So disrespectful. Disrespectful for other people. A tramp. A tramp. You heard it here first. A tramp. You tramp. You're always going to be a tramp. You're nasty. You're garbage people. Garbage people. Classless. Classless. Disgusting. And you know what? You need to shame. She needs to be shamed. I would have got back on that mic. I would have got back on that mic and called it like it was. Everybody else is having a mask to protect her, but she doesn't think she has to have a mask. It's beyond. Look at all those people, and they all have masks on. But yet, Karen Pence, not her, she took it off. Shame on her. Shame. Oh, my Lord. Talk about a hot... Oh, that just made... That, y'all, that burn... Oh, thank you so much, Tremaine. Thank you so much for that super chat, honey. Oh, you know, I was going to say it was good on both sides. It almost got, went crazy, but then it got back on track. And I was going to say that Mike Pence was as best that he could be. Both of them. But the mask thing, I got to tweet that out. I cannot believe she took her mask off. Oh my God. Her name is Karen, isn't it? Yeah, Karen Pence. And it's so funny her name's Karen, because it's always a Karen. I'm sorry, my girls that have Karen, but I'm just saying. Yeah. Always a Karen that thinks she is above the rules. Hashtag put on a damn mask. A shame. The Fly was amazing. I fell out with the Fly girls. I'm sure that will be like the biggest meme of 2020. That fly was sent from God. It's almost like, listen, do y'all remember when the bird landed on Bernie's podium when he was speaking? It was like, it's just things that happen that are just so amazing. And honey, when that fly landed, I lost it. I hope that fly has good insurance. I really do. Because I'm just shook. I'm really just shook. Well, girls, I enjoyed this. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I cannot wait. Well, I don't know if there's even going to be a next debate, because I'm not understanding how Trump's going to be able to even do a debate when he's spewing out the virus like that. Really, I don't understand. But I really enjoyed hanging out with you girls. Oh, thank you. Thank you again. Thanks so much for this super chat, Luke. Thank you, both of y'all, Tremaine and Luke. Thank y'all so much for the super chats. I really, really, really appreciate the super chats. And I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I enjoyed spending this time with you girls, because I don't think I could watch this stuff on my own. I really don't, because it makes it easier when I'm with you girls, and we can just have a good old laugh, because I don't know what else we can do anymore besides vote and laugh. That's all we can do, is help each other out through humor and just have a good time. But anyways, I just want to say a little prayer tonight out there. So if everybody will just bow their heads, I want to end on a good note. All right, I just want to end on a good note. Heavenly Father, we ask you to please, and I ask this, Father God and Jesus, please bless that fly, and may that fly live a long and fruitful life and spread the world with lots of maggots and enjoy his time on this earth. And we just want to bless the fly, because that fly has landed on some big old steaming pile of BS tonight, and I don't know if that fly just has energy to go on. So I just want you to bless that fly, and you know what? I'm going to put him in my Bible. I'm going to do that tonight, and I'm going to pray on it again. But anyways, girls, I had so much fun, and I hope y'all have a wonderful night, and I will see y'all Friday, because I will be back Friday doing another normal reaction watch party. So be on the lookout. See you next time, girls. Okay, this was fun. Mwah. Kisses. And remember to like and subscribe. Bye, girls.